Hey everyone, welcome to Left Right Cab. My name is Tanner Hall. Oh, I have my speakers on. That is the worst. I'm so bad.
It's like our first time doing this. It's okay.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Let me start over one more time. Welcome, thank you for joining us. This is Left Right Cab. My name is Tanner Hall.
I'm Travis Pajoli.
I'm Jake Rutter.
This is a debate show that isn't really a debate show. We talk about a variety of topics, ranging from politics, history, philosophy, pop culture, and we kind of debate and hash out our different opinions on it. We do this all over wine, Cabernet Sauvignon to be specific. And yeah, we appreciate you joining us tonight. Oh, and I also made a gin drink, and I'm getting
it is tasty as fuck.
I'm getting the thumbs up for that.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Hodgman Mountain, the soda company.
Local soda company, Hosmer Mountain. Give us money, we'll sponsor you.
Absolutely.
We will sing your praises all the time, every day, because we'd be doing it anyways.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was my choice. We rotate who picks wine. We rotate who picks the topic, and it's Jake's topic tonight. And my wine I picked only literally off the label was Intrinsic. It kind of reminded me of Sin City,
yeah,
gray with just that red
that.
pop.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah,
or like
I don't know what it's like. But yeah,
it's like a Deftones album cover.
God, why does my volume keep going on? I'm so sorry.
I mean, I think it was because it was paused before.
Oh, that's right. I'm so dumb.
We have good KBS right now. Setup looks good. Our buddy Antonio might join us at some point. He just had to go back to his shop and do some shit, so he was vocally on the podcast last night. So let's do this thing.
Go through.
My nose is good.
I always try to read how vineyards will try to market themselves. So Intrinsic by Cellard and Intrinsic Wines. No real description on flavor.
There was none. I noticed that when I picked it up.
That's a bad sign.
There are no words on there to say what it is.
It's either good or a bad sign.
There's
so one or the other.
What's interesting is that what words are there explains the label. It talks about how it's about how winemaking and street art are like environmentally conscientious, which doesn't make sense to me because one is putting paint on.
Winemaking is relatively green compared to other industries for sure.
Yeah,
fermentation in general is pretty good.
Yeah,
it's the distribution of fermentation that's iffy, but glass bottles technically are good if you recycle them.
Certainly.
Or upcycle them, I guess.
Yeah, it had a nice little caveat pointing to, the role of street art and that for being.
Just to harp on this for a second, because as someone who is homebrewer, ferments myself, and also is maybe someday considering doing it professionally. Like when you ferment something, you take it and you put it in a thing and it sits. There's no industry cost. There's no mechanics of it that like
space and time.
It's space and time. There's no factory, and so it is a pretty positive industry if done locally.
Yeah.
All right. So we have not tasted it. We never tasted it beforehand. You always notice it the first time.
Salute.
Cheers.
Not good.
Nope.
No, it's not good wine.
It doesn't taste good.
No.
It doesn't feel good going down.
It's dry.
It's dry.
Hollow.
I'm with you. I never critiqued so far.
The logo is the label is by far the best part of this wine.
Yeah, appearance definitely 10 out of 10. Taste. So when I poured these,
the nose isn't bad.
Mm-mm.
The nose isn't terrible.
No, but I can still the dryness being the one note.
So
in the nose too.
When I poured these, I held it up to the light, tried to gauge what color it is.
Test if it's counterfeit, like $100 bill.
Exactly. It honestly looked purple to me, like a deep purple.
I took another sip,
and I was just like, "This wine's not going to be good." I know, like usually, you can't really judge something by.
So we're talking about gin tonight.
Cover, but
so we're actually reviewing gin tonight.
We're reviewing gin, Tanqueray, and Hosmer Mountain sparkling cranberry seltzer. 10 out of 10.
Excellent.
So part of me wonders, you guys are drinking.
I trust you. We're COVID free. You want to sip?
I am good, thank you. But I do think that. So before you guys drank the wine, You had the gin cranberry mix, which is like a very
delicious,
herbal, very floral, kind of tart with cranberries.
Right. I wish that was part of this.
So I actually don't hate this wine, but it's also because like I was just pounding water beforehand.
So you think our palates are fucked up?
Yes.
I don't know.
That said,
I'll try it again.
A lot of those notes, I like. It's not that I don't like or love this wine, but I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. It's just not good. It's the worst one I've had.
I won't even say that it's not good.
I've gone in for ass faster than I've gone in to drinking this.
So I just really switched this wine in my mouth. So the next drink of it should give me the notes of it.
Yep.
Hollow.
Oh, I just broke everything. I'm sorry.
It's so hollow. I don't taste anything else.
So there's no like flavor notes to it at all.
No.
So I think we talked about it last week as well.
The flavor ends very quickly.
You see with some cats.
This tastes like a really cheap wine to me.
Yeah, you guys won't like this price.
This is probably like a $16.99.
We haven't gotten to that section of the night yet.
I know. I'm just going to throw that.
All right, so taste-o-meter.
It is a dry red. I'm not sure I would call it a cab.
Yes, exactly.
And that's kind of the setup on it.
Okay, so let's run it through. Coffee?
No coffee
Chocolate?
notes.
No.
No chocolate.
Mocha?
No.
It's really just coffee and chocolate.
No caramel.
Caramel? Tobacco?
No tobacco.
There's no raspberries.
No
there's
nuts.
no fruit.
So what is in? You know what? How about we look this up? What is in?
We're actually doing a deep dive in this company.
I'm telling you, I don't think it's because we tried the gin. I think this is just not a good wine.
No, don't get me wrong. This is not a good wine.
It's not. Is it the worst one we've had? It's not
No, you gotta, hold on. You might look up at price. Don't look at the screen. You might see the price.
Longevity is worse.
Longevity is definitely the worst wine that we've had.
Also wasn't officially on the podcast though.
That's true. But again, if we compared this to a three-finger jack.
Okay, it is described as being floral aroma complemented by notes of cherry and leather.
I get the leather.
I don't get floral at all. I get no floral.
So it's floral on the nose. Like it smells nice.
It's 14.6 alcohol, and its rustic yet silky texture pairs well with grilled meats and seared vegetables.
Actually, I will say this.
I would probably eat.
I would pour this on the meat. I don't want to drink it with the meat. Like a beef, like a steak.
It is a blend of a Cabernet Sauvignon and a Cabernet Franc.
It is a blend.
Provides a. It didn't say that. It's in the Cabernet section when I bought it.
So Cabernet Franc is a very similar grape varietal to Cabernet Sauvignon.
It is. Yeah.
Provides a layered palate with tones of blueberry jam, pomegranate, and chocolate.
No.
I don't get any of those.
No. That's bullshit.
But it does have sort of that smooth taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way that it is
I don't like
smooth leather.
It's certainly. I mean, it's certainly not. It's not like
leather is the most accurate.
Leather is accurate. It's not. I don't want to spit it out. It's not disgusting. It's just not good.
I'll finish this glass in this bottle.
We'll finish the wine's not.
It's near longevity for me. They're close.
The wine.
This might be the second.
Longevity is so acidic. This doesn't have that.
No, I'm saying this. This is like drinking liquid air. There's nothing to it.
I would prefer to that than drink the acrid nightmare that is longevity.
This is
longevity is honestly like a 2 or 1.
Can we agree this is the second worst one? Is this okay?
This
is
the third.
This is our.
So I don't know if we're counting Walking Dead.
Well, of course.
Walking Dead was the flagship. Longevity wasn't. We're talking about longevity.
Walking Dead is what prefaced Three Finger Jack.
I know, but Walking Dead was the wine of the night.
That's true.
Longevity was
my
not.
Fourth worst wine.
Okay, what's better than what's this better than?
This is better than Longevity.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
I can agree with that.
And the Mencia.
I don't know about the Mencia.
The Mencia tasted like
Mencia
it wasn't complex. It was very light.
I would have Mencia over this.
I would too. Okay. I put Mencia over this. I would say this is the third worst at best.
Wow. Should I get my money back?
It competes.
So taste-o-meter. It competes with what?
3.5, 4.
I'll give it like a 4 point.
I wish I remember. What did I give Walking Dead? Because it'd be that
3 or 4 in that ballpark.
I'll roll the taste back. It's the same line as that.
So I will say that this is like a it's a 4 to me. Like,
I think I gave the Mencia a 4 or 5.
I would not buy this again. I would not drink it if I saw it at a party. I would not bring it to a party.
Yeah, honestly, that's probably how we should kind of measure these. Like, is this
set
the wine you
points.
bring for a dinner? Is this the wine?
So
Actually, tell you what, I would turn this into Calimocho.
Sure.
You're transforming it. It's
Absolutely, that's what I mean. Like,
Calimocho is a low rating.
Yeah, no,
it's not the lowest.
Calimocho is so if you're unaware. It's red wine, usually cheap red wine mixed with cola.
Okay, so basically our guest last week, Chartier, dodged a bullet by not coming here tonight because he would have drank ass wine.
Yeah, this is. I mean, he would have just gone back to whiskey.
This is something that like high schoolers would be like, all right, I got some fucking booze and from my parents, and we're just gonna chug this because it's for alcohol and we can't get alcohol.
Truth be told, this is a bottle of wine that I would expect.
I would prefer jug wine over this.
Yep.
I jug and most box.
Yep.
My Butter box downstairs is a better wine than this.
I may actually switch to that during the break.
Okay, so we did our taste review. Now we do price-o-meter.
Yeah, I'm still gonna say like $16.99.
$16.99, Jake.
You said I'm not gonna like it. That you can't tell us that. That spoils the broth on the guess. I'm gonna go with 15 flat or $14.99.
Travis is closer. $20 flat.
What?
Holy shit!
Okay, this is the worst value so far.
Yes,
A $20
I would
wine.
give that right off the bat.
This is the worst value we've had so far.
$20 for that one.
That
I walked in there and I'm like, you know what? We always are in that like 12 to 16 range. I'm gonna pump it up.
This wine.
I said I'm gonna go higher. This might taste better.
This wine's barely worth. This wine's not worth $10. Like it's like a $5 wine. It's not.
I wouldn't go that far on it. Longevity is a $4.99 wine.
Yes.
Okay.
I think this should be priced similarly.
$1.99 Tisdale or this?
I'll drink the Tisdale.
Tisdale.
$1.99 Tisdale tastes better than this.
Let's go back to that.
Actually, I will say
we could have 10 Tisdales.
You're not wrong. Math checks out.
The best cheap wine, though, I will probably still say the Little Penguin.
Little Penguin's good.
It's like $3-4 for a bottle, and it's like
better than this.
I
don't even want to finish my glass. It's one of the few ones I don't want to finish my glass.
I gotta finish my glass at least. The bottle will not leave here with stuff still in it. What do we say for scores?
My co-host respect alcohol too much.
I said 3.5. What did you say?
4.
What did you say?
3.
Yeah. I mean, I really want to say 3. So
the 3.5 or even a 3.25 average seems fitting.
Yeah.
Like this is just.
It's just not. It's not a wine. You should not buy this wine. I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. I wasn't so sure about that until I heard the price. I am sure you should not buy this wine $20. Yeah. If you pay $10 for this wine or $5 for this wine, not so bad.
Yeah, if this was at a lower price point, I could be like, yeah, okay, like price per value, like or price per.
I receive not endorphins. What's the thing in your brain that sends
dopamine?
Serotonin.
Oh,
yeah. I receive none of that when I drink something. I get that when I drink this. I get it when I drink and I eat cheese. I get anything else.
Yes.
It just doesn't fire off when that comes to my palate.
So what I said earlier, I think I stick by. I wouldn't pair this with anything. I'd pour it over something in a skillet, like.
So there was an episode of No Reservations with Anthony Bourdain years ago.
Rest in peace.
And rather than travel anywhere, he was like in his restaurant in New York, and it's like, I've realized I don't know. Like, he's like, I do a travel and cooking show, but I don't cook on here, so I'm gonna just step you through the full process on how to make certain dishes. One of them was for beef stew, and he's like, "This is why I buy Carlo Rossi." He's like, giant jug of wine, poured over it.
We have a comment in the chat, by the way.
That's Chartier.
Okay.
What is it? Is it? I'm glad I dodged this bullet.
Yeah, he dodged the fucking bullet apparently.
90+ seller Cab Sav from Argentina, drinking it in solidarity.
90+ is actually very good.
Never had it.
Yeah?
So
let's talk about what's not good, Mr. Misdirect. It's fucking trash. It's so bad. You're so lucky you're not here. It's so bad.
It's really not good.
Yeah, so the thing with 90+.
Cheers.
It is a...
I
have to go through it because that's what's being dragged. Chartier, you have the better experience right now. So what 90+ does is that they will buy like small, pretty much the leftovers from major vineyards,
and
then they will blend them together
and secondary them,
and ultimately make wine from like the leftovers.
So the blending process is actually not bad for wine.
No, so like most cabs are actually like blends.
Yeah,
like, truth be told.
But what you do is after blending, if you then take it and move it to like a secondary or a final fermenter, and let it age itself out and figure its flavor out, and let it off gas and do all the things it's got to do. That process is like you can make a better wine than any of the components of that wine. You know, like.
I mean, that's kind of the whole piece with any supplemental.
Herb de Murph says Dookie Cheeks wine.
Mm. Is that you?
Yeah, I'm Keep de Murph. That's me.
Although that's good. We need to get 5 people to talk in the chat in one stream, and then we get upgraded.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends to get in here and just chat in this chat.
Just join the chat, log in, watch for 10 seconds, and then be like, "This is trash." You can even write in the chat, "This is trash," and then
yes, this is the worst podcast I've ever seen in my life, and move on.
Subscribe.
What would make it better would be some Ben Shapiro.
So 90 Plus, it's a really great company because all of their wines, you get kind of weird batch blends of better wines mixed together.
Is it still playing over here on your screen?
What is
the stream?
Yeah. I'm on it. So
mine won't load for some reason, so I just.
Oh no, we're good. So
our vanity is through the roof. We just get to stare at ourselves.
Cheers to that.
What's the winery called?
Who cares?
Cellared.
Burn it to the ground. That's what it's.
Cellared, I believe.
There you go. I did a call to action.
Cellared?
Yeah.
No,
so
it's Intrinsic Wine Co.
Oh wow, it's even
the
worse.
Wine name. The wine is the name of the wine company.
This is some like fucking Toro Mio or whatever.
Not Tori Moy.
No, that's a band.
It's a man.
Are we qualified to judge wine accurately? Are we wine snobs?
I can tell you right now, sommeliers aren't qualified to judge wine.
I will say this. I believe
this
is what I was going to say before I was trying to cut you off, and I'm sorry about that. But before, when I was thinking like, I feel like I'm getting a surprisingly more rarefied and like delicate palate every week we do this.
Oh, I agree.
I would agree
100%
with the exception of this wine because
this
does nothing.
No, bad wine's still good to drink.
Yeah, because you need to understand what bad wine is.
What's wrong with it exactly. Yeah.
No, yeah, I came into this podcast really being wine illiterate, and now
as seen by Reserve Gold.
I love that wine.
Favorite wine.
That wine is so good.
That wine's better than this wine.
Yes.
That's the best.
Hands down.
And that's the only compliment I can give it.
Look at this light show going on. Look at this fucking techno.
Jesus.
You are flashing red and yellow and orange and blue.
I am? What the fuck's happening?
Yeah, you got a fucking like.
There we go. Fixed it.
Maybe? I don't know.
Some sort of like weird.
Oh yeah, no. I guess it's fine. This room is haunted, so cheers.
Well, I hear the fucking whistle of the steam.
Yeah, so I think.
What was I gonna say? Oh, what were we saying?
Yeah, that's really how people become more familiar and develop a palate flavor. Anything that they're trying to find is just you have to be exposed to a whole bunch of different ones. And like people always say,
I want to hear back from a wine company. I want to hear back from one of the guys we got reviewed. Someone sends it to them, say, "Hey, watch this. These guys review wine. They reviewed your wine, and then it's like trash." Or then we're like, "We fucking love it," and then they write us a letter saying like,
I would send it to like Three Finger Jack, and they would just be like, "Hey, you guys, fucking keep doing what you're doing. I don't think we've sang your praises enough because
that wine is amazing."
Yeah, it is.
So I just want an email back saying like, "Thanks for reviewing our wine. We appreciate it." Or like, "Thank you for the criticism." I want, or like,
you guys are all wrong.
You guys are all wrong. You guys don't know taste at all.
No.
So,
but yeah, truth be told, a lot of sommeliers
are full of shit.
Somalia pirates from South Park.
So you're saying they're full of shit.
For the most part.
Yes.
And you see it all the time when new studies come out and they're like, sommeliers can fucking identify jug wine and table wine from like these super expensive things. Like they hyper rated, I think it was a Mondavi like Select or something, like a California mass produced, and they're like, this is phenomenal, it's the best, it's from this region of Burgundy, and they're just like, no, this is from Napa, and it's not this. And they're like, oh, well, my flavor portfolio is different. So, it's dumb, but...
It's a pseudoscience, is what you're saying. There's truth in it.
Yeah.
Much like Bigfoot and aliens. There's probably some truth in it.
Yeah, those are just facts.
And Moloch, whatever the name that guy
is. The dinosaur. Yeah. So, that said, you can certainly critique how wine is made, and you can critique the flavors that come out of it. But can you look at the legs wine leaves in a glass and then smell it, bite the cork, and then figure out where it's from? No. You can't. Someone will definitely go out there and try it, but they'll...
So because I can see the live stream, not to get off topic, but someone told me the other day that my hair, the way like I have it now, like
I'm like Hitler Youth.
No. I look like the when it's like this in front of my face, like this. They let me see if I can get it.
Emo Spider-Man.
No. I want to see if I can get it.
Oh yeah, definitely that's what it is.
They said that I looked like the bad guy from Fifth Element.
Oh, fucking
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman.
But it's the character that has the hair that's like
yes.
slanted down to the side.
Yeah, I can kind of see.
I see that.
Now I'm like,
looking
I
at
couldn't
it
see
now.
it. And then I look at it, I'm like, oh, yeah, you kind of right.
I do think Emo Spider-Man is also a call, too, though.
You're kind of right.
No.
God, how good is Gary Oldman?
Amazing.
That dude can play anything.
He's a goddamn chameleon.
Much like Christian Bale gaining 400,000 pounds to play the Sandworm in Dune.
Best meme of 2021.
Like the fact that he was the dude.
Anymore. It lost it.
Yeah, it lost to Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders has to be on the podcast.
These Bernie Sanders memes.
I'm on it. Give me a second.
Fucking fire.
Bernie Sanders is going to be on the podcast tonight.
All right.
Anyways,
Jake, you have a topic, and I see on the bottom that you labeled the episode Fermi Paradox. Tell the people at home.
Do you know what the Fermi Paradox is?
I do, but
you do.
Would you like the
give an overview
to the people at home who don't know what Fermi Paradox is?
I will pull my phone out so that I can read off my script that I wrote.
Wikipedia.
I wish. That'd be funny if I just read the Wikipedia.
And then we should say what our favorite paradoxes are after Jake reads off this one.
That could be like the secondary one, I think. Yeah. So.
Actually, I think we've already done that because someone came out with the Fermi one. I think
it was a Halloween episode. We talked about Mandela effect, time distortion, prayer. I think
I had talked about the Epicurean trilemma.
We have not talked about the Fermi paradox yet.
No,
I think someone brought it up though.
It may have been mentioned in passing, but we don't really have. We really discussed it at large.
For sure.
So, sad thing is, this topic was kind of sparked yesterday when we were hanging out here talking to Antonio, who is missing,
much like
tragically,
Barack Obama at the Republican National Convention in 2012.
Is just a chair.
It's just an empty chair. You are now Clint Eastwood.
I'm Clint Eastwood.
I had no idea that Dirty Harry was a fucking sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a second movie. Yeah. Anyways, that's off topic. So the Fermi paradox. So I'm not sure all of our loving fans out there, if they know the Fermi paradox. I think a lot of people who would be interested in what we talk about or hang out with us or our friends would know, at least in passing, what it is, but I'll go over it real quick. So while doing research for this topic today, I realized that I actually personally had some strange assumptions about what the Fermi paradox actually was. I do know what it is, but I think maybe I colluded a couple different ideas, you know. Mainly, I merged the concepts of the Great Filter and the Fermi Paradox into one concept in my head, and they are divergent in a way. And we'll get to that later on. There are cross implications between the two concepts, though, and they can be spoken of together. So really, my topic is about both the Fermi Paradox and the Great Filter together.
Okay.
And one begets the other. So the Fermi Paradox, for those who don't know, is a theory or a paradoxical concept of our place in the universe and the place of other life in said universe. Statistically, other life should exist because there are billions of planets, and in those billions of planets in the known universe, there should be at least some number of them that can sustain life just by being in the Goldilocks zone. The Goldilocks zone is a concept that just describes, as far as we know,
too hot nor too cold.
No, yeah, the proximity of a planet to its solar or its star, right, to its sun. We live in the Goldilocks zone for the solar system. Mars is on the fringe of it. Those are the only two planets. Venus might be, but probably not. It is not. It's not in our Goldilocks zone, but if you redefine Goldilocks zones,
it's
the whole thing.
Can you sustain life there? And it's technically, yes, you can.
You can because Venus has the chemical composition that's based on nitrogen. It's a whole conversation broader than what I really want to talk about tonight, or more complex, I guess.
You guys know what my minor was, right?
What was it?
Astronomy, astrophysics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm very well.
Say like through sulfur based.
Very well.
Sulfur nitrogen based life forms is that the Goldilocks zone for that.
Sure. Extremophiles can exist. They think they.
That's exactly.
So even in Titan, one of Jupiter's moons, there's it's made of methane.
It possibly has life. Yes, underneath the ice. Yes.
No, Europa is the one with.
Europa has ice. Methane they have oceans of liquid methane.
Yes.
On Titan. They think that creatures could live in that
underneath.
That agree.
Right. So my point being is that what a Goldilocks zone means when we talk about it is talking about water-based life forms, right? Like carbon and water being the two chemicals that propagate life.
That show life actually.
Yeah. So not only that, but any life sufficient enough to evolve beyond the single cell to multi-cell into whatever body form you could imagine would potentially develop intelligence at some point if their environment sustains that life for a long enough time with the right conditions to sustain larger and larger multi-cell forms. Not only that, but the opportunity to develop intelligence then gives you the opportunity, not necessarily the certainty, to then develop technology, and technology then begets the ability to travel on an interstellar scale.
Sure.
So that is sort of like the premise of the Fermi paradox, is that we all that statistically that life should exist elsewhere. Life should propagate itself enough times on enough planets that some of it should become intelligent, and some of that intelligence should propagate itself enough times to become intelligent enough to travel interstellarly.
But there's a twist.
There is a twist. Given the age of over 10 billion years that we approximate the universe to be, it is also nearly statistically certain that such species would have developed that technology by now. In his proof, Enrico Fermi, who the paradox is based on, includes a simple probe that he describes in the technology of the 1950s that self-replicates as it explores planetary systems. And even with that understanding of the 50s technology, he postulated that said probe could have propagated over an entire galaxy in 4 million years. Mm-hmm. The entirety of the Milky Way galaxy could have been explored in 4 million years based on his postulation of a much more simplistic idea of what technology is than it is today for us, even. So, given that, not only does the paradox include the statistical likelihood of life, but also the near certainty that life should have been able to make contact with us by now.
We've had a whole episode about this. They have made contact with us by now.
Yes. So I'm actually, the reason why I was really drawn to this when we were talking to it with Antonio was that something about that cryptid episode felt like we left something on the table about aliens specifically. I felt like we all were interested in it. We just kind of moved on. So I was like, let's go back to it.
We had a lot to go over.
So the real question is why, if it's almost statistically certain that they could have by now, or they should have by now, why the fuck haven't they? And there's a lot.
So I have my I know there's tons of reasons because we had to do a big research paper on it for my study, for my degree. And my answer that I kind of liked and leaned towards the most, which is probably on your list.
We'll get to that.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were literally asking us.
I actually don't want to get to the list yet, but I have a huge list of major topics.
The biggest list.
Major topics and subtopics. I'm just going to read major topics off real quick.
Yep.
The 3 major topics that the categories that people postulate these could be under are they are here, and there's a bunch of examples of that. They are on Earth, or they have been here.
We're on to you.
They exist, but they have not yet communicated, or they do not exist. Those are the 3 major categories, and I have.
And all of them are terrifying.
They all, none of them are good. So just to wrap up what I'm talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
For me specifically, to loop back to what I was originally postulating, and how I merged the ideas of the Great Filter and the Fermi Paradox together, they do relate. What I wrestle with the most is the concept of the Great Filter, which suggests that there is some major element to existence that rarefies life below what statistics would predict.
Yeah.
Part of this potentially includes a discussion about intelligent life. Possibly, in every intelligent civilization, there is an event that either stunts or eliminates intelligence.
Yep.
Or even existence itself.
That's my point.
Yes.
It's nuclear development.
Such as nuclear war, famine, inbreeding, whatever, genetic termination. There's plenty of theories about the Great Filter.
80%.
Often the question is whether often people wouldn't talk about they talk about the Great Filter. The question is whether or not we as a society or as a culture of humans on this planet are beyond our Great Filter, whatever the hell that is, if it exists. We can talk, but I really wonder specifically why, if you believe that the Fermi Paradox makes sense. There's 2 questions that could be had here. We can either talk about why have we not been contacted yet? Why is there no known to the public, at least, contact with aliens? Or is there a Great Filter, and are we just one of the survivors? Is this really even worth talking about? Are we worth talking to from an alien perspective? Is the question actually that are we even alone at all worth asking? So is it? So I want to start with that. Is this question worth talking about? Is it worth asking whether or not we are alone?
Yes.
Some people would say no.
No, I'm close to the border of. Is it worth asking? Because it's just
Or you're taking it that it's a known certainty.
It's a mathematic, not just morally and philosophically. You feel it. It's a mathematical impossibility.
Okay. I agree with you. So let me rephrase that then. Is it worth exploring? That's what I'm actually asking.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
It is definitely worth exploring.
It's always good to explore the unknown.
So the people.
Human curiosity alone is going to drive that, but just in general, I think it's a strong.
This also very important to this topic. Does anyone else need anything special from Taco Bell?
I think you got my quesadilla or chicken quesadilla.
She got the quesadilla, and she's watching right now.
Okay, we're good.
She's going to do one hard and one soft, just like the usual night. Anyways, back to what we were talking before. So if we all agree here in this conversation that it is intrinsically imperative that we just talk about it, explore it, because there is something about the unknown of our place in the universe and other existence that demands exploration.
Give me a second.
Because there's people who would say NASA is not worth the money. Right?
Yes, and they would be wrong.
They're wrong. I agree.
I would pose something. I guess I'll take the argumentative stance on this. Do you think it's possible that man's curiosity is our Great Filter?
Possibly.
That whatever the extermination event, whatever occurs, is because we, as a species, were just
too curious.
We reached to something else.
So here's a thought I've had before about when I think about this topic. I listen and read a lot of sci-fi.
For fuck's sake, though, I mean that is the Pandora's box dilemma that's in place.
To heighten what you're saying, what I'm saying is that like there's this concept behind the idea of exploration that man. Not that they're too curious, that we're always ahead of ourselves, right? Where it's like we want to reach the stars and we haven't even gotten successfully to the moon enough times,
that is the Ad Astra.
We want to go as far as fucking possible and damn the fucking consequences. That's all. I mean, that's the Donner Party.
That is the Donner Party.
The Donner Party is that.
that is SpaceX. That's
Arctic exploration and that sort of shit.
So I mean, it's also kind of an interesting parallel because like we haven't even mapped fucking Earth in its entirety.
The ocean is mostly unknown still.
Exactly. So it's like, should we be looking to the stars and pursuing these things when we ourselves know nothing about 70% of the entire surface of this planet?
Oh, we talked about The Abyss.
Yes.
That Abyss is such a good movie.
James Cameron.
Sphere is actually what I was talking about.
So is your devil's advocate then? I'm not saying you believe this necessarily, but is your devil's advocate that man should explore the stars, should reach out, and should be curious about the sky beyond our planet, but we do it like sort of like we get too far ahead of ourselves, right?
Yeah, I think to kind of play the devil's advocate,
too hasty. Again, I'm not saying you believe this, but it is an interesting concept.
Yeah, when you look at curiosity development, that isn't to say that we don't have deep sea research pursuits that arguably probably get less funding than NASA. But when you look at these situations, I can't help but wonder, is most of what we know of space predominantly empty? Well, not.
Yes, it is.
No, it is.
I mean,
but when you
our solar system is predominantly empty.
Yet we have the pursuit of other things. Should that not take precedence? I mean, cool, we have Jeff Bezos saying that he wants to colonize Mars. Colonize the Marianas Trench, I don't know, pursue something else that may be more viable.
I would say humans are more likely to live on Mars than in the deep pressures of the Marianas Trench.
Do you think that we would be able to successfully terraform Mars faster than we would be able to just adjust to the pressure?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Terraforming an entire planet.
I think terraforming, setting up. Yeah. No. I also think it would take us less time to get to Mars than it would be to establish.
I mean, we've already launched rovers there, so it's like 40
like
years. Or how long is it?
To get 3 months.
3 months. Yeah, it's not bad actually. It's actually the problem with Mars isn't going there. It's going back.
Yeah.
Almost the entirety of the problem. We are sure that we can land a sustainable ecosphere and like a populated crew to Mars. We're sure of it.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of three-breasted prostitutes and quado.
Start the reactor,
Quaid. Start the reactor.
Total Recall. Highly recommend.
Yes.
All you kids watching don't know these references.
The original with Arnold, not the Colin Farrell one.
Imagine seeing a three-breasted woman before the internet really was like a thing.
But Rocky, you can't fight the monster on Mars. There's no oxygen up there. Yeah, there's no oxygen up there for him neither. Oh, Family Guy. So here's a couple things about the Fermi paradox. That go inside what we're talking about here. One concept is that do you believe in the zoo paradox?
That we are merely being observed by other life, and
so that is one of the ones on my list.
Yeah, I have a list here too. I pulled it up. So yeah. I'm just going to pick and choose a couple. Sure. The zoo paradox. We are set up to be watched, observed.
I think my
while we forge our own path.
My interpretation of that reading, which I think it's an interesting concept, is that the zoo would be so advanced that we wouldn't even know about it anyway. So it's almost,
and even if you could interact with it, you wouldn't be able to change it.
Would you say space is too vast? That's one of the sections.
It's almost so. One of my favorite ones is the sort of the rare Earth theory. That it's nothing about Earth specifically. It's Earth in culmination, right? It's like all these different elements of Earth together make us. It's not just where we are in relation to our sun, or like what our chemical combination is. It's also
it's the compounding element of all of these things together.
So the idea is that life isn't rare necessarily, but like true intelligence that here's the thing: the true intelligence that benefits from said intelligence may be more rare than we think. I think there is plenty of life out there. I think there are many planets with life on them. But
do you believe this life to be insect creatures, bugs, animals, not
sure.
humanoid?
As a person who certainly subscribes to evolution as a concept, I can totally see plenty of environments where evolution does not predicate on intelligence. I think we are specific in that our intelligence is a linchpin of our evolution. Us as humans.
So also keep in mind, with early stage versions of the Earth itself, human
intelligence
hominids would not have been a thing.
Intelligence would not have been rewarded. Exactly. This is what I'm postulating exactly. That I feel like there's probably plenty of planets out there that could support life that just are not hospitable or propagating to intelligence.
I mean, arguably, as a proponent of evolution, assuming you're also going to take
Darwinism, yes,
general Darwinism, that
yes,
whatever benefits get rewarded, whatever variation that in turn benefits that.
I think beyond all the other theories, that's the easiest one to say feels, at least to me, like it's the most applicable. Yeah. Like it makes the most sense, right? Whatever benefits.
I just feel there's a overwhelming swath of evidence that just of all those lists of things that of what it could be, the option of they're already here and have made contact is
the most obvious.
Just most obvious. I think it's the most. I think there's overwhelming evidence towards that compared to any of the others.
Just beyond our perception. I
wouldn't say beyond our perception.
No.
Beyond
we're seeing them in the sky.
Comprehension.
Fucking the
internet. Not perception. Comprehension. If aliens are here, we three here don't comprehend what they are.
Sure, they're technically called EBEs, extraterrestrial biological entities.
You're assuming the biological part.
Oh, so you're consisting? What if it exists on some fourth dimensional?
No, not even. What if it's post-biological? That's very possible. There certainly, in theory, we already know that we could do that to ourselves. We could create a post-biological society.
Are you talking about like a technological upload of consciousness and mapping around?
Hasn't happened yet, no, but we're not that far from it. Not really.
So it always that brings me back to a very unique thought exercise.
We could certainly create in a box, right? In a box, we could certainly create. I just want to clarify what I'm trying to say. Yeah. We could create in a box a society that is entirely driven by non-biological beings. Certainly, they'd be simplistic and rudimentary, but we could.
Sure.
We have done it many times. Many times. We've created things that have no human input that self-sustain.
I mean, the immediate question that raises is that life? And then secondly,
Star Trek had a whole episode about that with Data.
With the fucking...
No, it was a trial.
Okay, there's a Data one.
Picard between Riker had to... And he was just like, I don't want to do
Riker was the opponent, yeah. And then Picard was the defendant, yeah. We've all seen that episode, great episode.
Legal, actually. Shout out to that they do.
Our fellow equally as important podcaster.
Yes. More like YouTube.
He's a YouTuber, yeah. He's actually, I love his stuff. It's so good.
He does a very good deep dive on that about the actual if this were a court case, how would this go? And was it done correctly? And he's like, it's done very well. Gene Roddenberry didn't fuck that up.
I guess I'm just on the train of. I mean, the Pentagon already fucking came out and said it. So we have craft not of this earth. But I think if they literally just kind of came out and just said it, no one would shut. Memes would just be made. That's it. It would be more clap alien cheeks Area 51 bullshit memes.
I can tell you right now why. I can tell you right now why that is not as public as it should be. It is a very large fuck you to organized religion.
It is,
and it will destabilize the entire. Because again,
so you're
not just in the U.S.
Are you saying it needs to be what I pictured when you said that in my head?
I'm drinking shit fucking wine. Sorry.
When you're in a hospital and you have that IV and it's one drip, it has to be a slow drip process instead of just a steady flow.
Don't get me wrong. I'm actually very much pro. I have no qualms with destabilizing organized religion. I generally go to sleep hoping that it happens.
We say Garth Brooks sang Amazing Grace at the inauguration of Joe Biden, though.
Did he?
He did.
I like Garth Brooks, though.
I wasn't talking about Garth Brooks, really. We're talking about he sang Amazing Grace at the inauguration of a U.S. president.
Of a devoutly Catholic U.S.
They're
president.
swearing on a Bible, regardless.
No.
Fun fact, that Bible
Is the
Joe Biden
the Biden
signed
Bible, yeah.
is the Biden Bible, and it is as old as this house.
Yeah.
It is a goddamn tome that probably has some, like...
Fun trivia question. Who swore on a stack of law books instead? This trivia. I should save this for trivia at night.
It's the president.
It's the president. He did not swear on a Bible. He chose to swear on a stack of law books instead.
LBJ?
No.
If you're not going to tell us.
No.
I'll tell you. I want him to guess. He might be right. I'm just going to wait for an answer.
One who actually cares about the law. Who's the one who eventually became a Supreme Court justice?
It would not. You're wrong then.
Okay.
Yeah. It was John Quincy Adams.
Oh, that makes sense, actually. It makes a lot of sense.
Wow, he was worse than his dad.
Why?
He did not like state with.
I didn't say he was a good. I didn't say he was a good. I just said he was.
No, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I'm very pro. I think that the only
pro law.
I think you should swear on the Constitution
yes.
or the
if you're holding public office, you should swear upon whatever governance document is in place.
In a government that claims a separation of church and state, absolutely. We're not a theology, so we should not be making.
That's true. However, no atheist has ever been president. Humorously,
no,
openly atheist.
LBJ was a fucking alien.
LBJ was a Southern Democrat, so he definitely was not.
I don't know about that.
We could argue the deist form of the founding fathers.
Oh yeah, of course.
Being the modern day atheists of their times.
Well, they're the least religious around them. Yeah, right. And then somehow they got kind of flipped, and you had to be religious to be president in this country.
Well, I mean, keep in mind though, no, you have to be Protestant. Because one of the largest criticisms of Kennedy was that he was a Catholic and that he would have owed fealty to the Pope.
Sure.
Yeah, I write about this in my book actually.
But we've had no non-Christians though.
Well, the first open president called himself a Christian was Jimmy Carter.
Yeah.
So what do you mean?
He's the first president to say the term "I'm a Christian."
Yep. How many presidents were non-Christian? Besides
they might on paper. I mean, I don't think many of them were practicing outside of what they were kind of directed to. But when you actually,
the thing is, there's a smart group of people got together and say we are never going to get the Protestants to agree with the Christians to agree with the Baptists to agree because these are all very different religions in what they do.
And they all believe the same fucking
right. So they put it under one umbrella called the Christian umbrella.
Right. Well, yeah, of course.
And that made a powerhouse politically. Now we can have one movement, overarching movement. Now, if we were smart politically, we should do the same thing.
As atheists,
you would have to put an atheist, agnostic, non-practicing.
I call them all atheists. I call spiritualists atheists.
You put pagans in there. I
call every one of those people atheists.
Right.
So we're in the same boat here.
Yes.
This is where you and I agree the most. I think.
It should be one umbrella.
Yes.
That's all
inclusive.
More free thinker, I guess, in free thinker, skeptic. Yeah. But you would include groups like the pagans and Wiccans and all of that underneath.
Yeah, I'm not even just saying that. I actively believe that a Wiccan is an atheist because when I think of atheism, I think of it as a lack of organized religion, right? I don't think of it as
they may disagree with that actually.
They might in terms of believing in a
organization,
Gaia,
atheism, lacking of a theistic.
But they do. So your issue is that
many Wiccans do not actually, though. My mother was a Wiccan.
The handful that I've
they take the spirit. They lean toward. A lot of them take the spirituality side more than
mostly they do.
Right. Yes. I'm not saying there's outliers.
Yes.
But if we were smart in terms of wanting to gain political power, you would put all those different groups under one umbrella. Because right now,
what would you call it? I call it atheism.
I had a name of it.
Skepticism would be good too.
I would just wait. Skeptics is actually just probably the safe.
Agnostic, only because people have like a very very polarized opinion of what the.
I wrote what the name should be in my book, and I could use that exact example.
So what's the word then?
I
can't remember what it was.
And why'd you write the fucking book?
I wrote this 10 years ago.
Don't buy his book. He doesn't even fucking remember it.
No,
apparently, it's not memorable.
Not memorable. No, it's not. It's not. My new one's better. My new one's way more memorable.
The liberalism is gauche.
Left is gauche.
Left is gauche. Oh, Jesus.
It's so fucking smart. That's so fucking big brain.
Oh my god. That was left, right, cab. I'm turning this shit off right now.
So to kind of like circle back to,
I think the name was free thinking, free thinkers, or I think
I'm fine with that. I think that skeptics are free thinking.
I think that's the term I used.
To go back to your point on the Earth is a zoo.
Oh yes, Fermi paradox, guys.
Yes.
So
Earth is a zoo. Yes.
One of the, with exception to Harambe,
Dicks out.
the terrifying element of that is that anyone in the zoo is powerless to change it or to get out willingly.
Sure. Yeah, that's a terrifying thing, but
and that I think is, I mean, people joke and say like, oh, these humans are so uncivilized, they murder each other because they're...
It's like the Truman Show on steroids.
Yeah. But, you know, these humans murder each other because of UV radiation, and they all talk to an invisible friend, which isn't there, or they murder each other and all these things, like just lock the space doors and just fucking drive by. And it's something that I always kind of stuck with me, and I think, you know, when you brought up the Picard Riker data trial, was kind of the element of the Prime Directive itself, and that when you go to an uncivilized or underdeveloped planet, you don't interfere.
There was let me find this leak. I know I not have enough battery to do this. Continue.
So like, I think if the zoo paradox or the zoo framework isn't applicable, I think that there probably is some degree of the Prime Directive being at least adhered to. And it's only until people are capable of pursuing this.
Here, I found it.
Aliens Galactic Federation.
It was written in 2020, December 8th.
Okay.
The ex-Israeli space chief claims that aliens and a galactic federation does exist. But they don't want humans to be part of the club. They basically, the ex-space chief of Israel, that humanity isn't ready.
It means a lot coming from...
The U.S. and Israel have been collaborating with aliens on space travel for years. And U.S. President Trump was on the verge of revealing their existence to the public. So he writes a new book. Here's his history. He served in he was the chief of space program for Israel for this long and this long.
How long was that, by the way?
What?
How long was he the space chief?
Yep, he was the space chief from 1981 until 2010. I'm just trying to find more part about the aliens here. They talk about it, showing clips of
Yeah, truth be told, I would be...
aliens have already helped the U.S. and Israel set up underground bases on Mars. They're waiting for humans to reach a stage where we understand what space and spaceships really are.
Is Elon Musk...
If I had come up with what I'm saying 5 years ago, I would have been hospitalized. But today we're talking differently. I have nothing to lose. I've received my degrees and awards. I'm respecting universities abroad, where the trend is also changing. So and then we have like this. They're just showing just funny memes of that, but
so.
Or give me a sec. I'm sorry. Please, you can keep talking if you want to buy.
I mean, it generally kind of seems like if that is the case, I'm not surprised with it.
Basically, he says that aliens are up there on bases on the moon and Mars, literally waiting for humans to show that we're ready for their arrival. That's it. It's like, there's the zoo hypothesis. Look at it.
Yeah.
They know that we're here, but they've blocked us off in the space zoo essentially because we're not smart enough or mature enough to accept the responsibility of being one small creature in a vast sea of infinite races potentially.
Yeah. Regardless if that man should be hospitalized or not.
We're ready, aliens. We know you're receiving every radio signal out there. We're ready.
No,
take us. But we'll be about to get abducted tonight. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that.
In the same position, though.
Lube your butts.
I think with that sort of...
I can move if you want to sit in the middle. We can scoot over if you want Bernie to sit here.
I'll move him. Yes.
No. Sorry, with that sort of arrival approach thing.
Oh my god, it's beautiful.
We have a delay, so we won't.
Yeah, this is a little locked.
It's so fucking funny. I can do one of these.
Fair enough.
And do one of these.
I'm truly not surprised if that is factual, because when you look at it,
did the ex-British Prime Minister also come out and say the literal same thing? That we've been working with aliens for years.
Tony Blair?
Yeah, no, ex-Defense Prime Minister.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, "Yep, this is the case," and we're all just bigoted enough that we're gonna go and try to nuke the alien with like 9 tentacles trying to come down.
I feel like Mexico also came out and said, like, if the U.S. doesn't come clean about aliens, we will. Like,
well, we'll see.
Yeah,
that's my best answer to that. We'll see.
Yeah,
this is great. There we go. That's so good. It just caught up with us. This is fantastic.
Perfect.
It's fucking great.
Nice.
It's the ideal. We are men of memes now.
No.
We are currently. This is our first current meme. I feel like.
It's true. There were a lot of throwbacks to old ones. But yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised, because truth be told, I agree that like mankind en masse isn't ready for it. We've got
mankind en masse isn't even ready for fucking social health care. So.
I mean, yet we're ready for mittens made by a teacher, made out of recycled like plastic bottles and repurposed yarn.
On the bastion of social health care?
Yes.
Literal Jew Jesus.
But also keep in mind, this is a people en masse. So arguably, those who go to mass. Like I don't want to constantly just be like shitting on religion.
Yeah.
But you're gonna power through it.
Yeah, but I'm gonna hold my nose and just go right there.
You mean those who vote against their own interests?
Commonly. But that also could just be the elderly in general.
It is problematic. It actually saddens me a lot. My grandmother...
Do you think people would be mad? Here's a real question. Sure. If they came out... I know people would be like, how could you hide this from us? Not tell us. I know that would happen. I'm saying they have technology to bring us across the cosmos. They have technology to heal ailments that we don't have these cures for. And they have all this stuff.
Why do you think the COVID vaccine was so fast?
I'm just saying, like, we could be so much... we could be so much...
That's a great conspiracy that I never thought of till now.
We could be so much further along technologically, medically, life well-offness.
What would people do?
Do you... I'm just saying, do you think there would be an outrage that say we could have cured X diseases so much quicker, but because you were so protected about protecting your key technology agreement to get better fucking jets?
Sure.
That...
Well, I don't believe that, because the jet's fucking... The F-35 is not very good.
That's public jets. Let's talk about the shit we don't know about.
Okay,
like,
sure.
You know what I mean? Like...
I mean, how can we talk about stuff that is a known unknown?
It's known. We know.
Well, that's the point of the known.
Oh, I think the saying is, whatever technology is out now currently to the public commercially was in the hands of the government 30 years prior.
That's not true.
So they talked about this with linked computers.
I don't think 30. I would probably go computer.
I think
cell phone technology based. All these things when it was in 2000 in the 70s they had it.
I would say probably closer to the 20 years.
I think it also ignores the acceleration of technology that has happened in the past 15 years.
What's the concept where technology will double?
Yes, the doubling
the curve.
Yeah.
So
it's exponential.
Yeah, that ultimately technology will double in efficiency and reduce itself in cost like every 2 years.
Right.
So you see that with every fucking gaming PC you ever buy.
But
the point being is the government's ability to be ahead of us
shrinks over time
because of that acceleration. Does it make sense?
They don't experience the same acceleration that we are at the same time. It's not
how this exponential growth goes is that
they are also growing. If they had the same exponential growth, those lines match up because
they won't match up per se.
Hey.
Yeah, they're not going to match up.
Oh, look, it's
but
the guy.
Very
it's
close
that guy.
So that once was 30 years.
Fucking don't.
You're in for a fucking terrible experience.
Hold on, he might like it because he liked the last one too. So
really
fair.
Do you like farts in your mouth?
Well,
depends on
what comes from.
All right, Antonio, stream. Hello. We've been talking about the Fermi paradox.
Whoa, we got
Bernie Sanders on the podcast.
He joined us. Ben couldn't come, but Bernie
we got Bernie. He's not very happy about it.
Again, we're sorry. I'm sorry. I bought this wine. I'm so sorry. We got to have him do the taste number and the price-o-meter.
Sure.
Price-o-meter. Okay.
Let's read the entire podcast for Antonio.
Start over. Delete this one.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Oh, I'm surprised you don't like it because you like the last wine. So I was like, okay, maybe.
No, that's weird.
It's not good.
No.
Yeah.
It's like.
Did you have anything to drink prior to this?
No.
Okay, so his palate is clean.
Yeah.
That was an issue because we drank our delicious gin drinks that your palate's all fucked up, and no, it's just ass in a bottle.
It almost tastes like nothing. Almost kind of weird.
Yes,
I
exactly.
said it's liquid air. It's nothing. There's nothing to it.
There's no body. There's a little dryness. There's nothing else going on. It probably has alcohol in it.
That's aftertaste, but
it's 14.7.
There's probably alcohol in it. Probably.
One of the
possibly
how this was marketed on their own website said like notes of leather. And it's just like
leather. What?
Sure.
Yeah,
I'll take
it. It's like if I just fucking got hit in the face with a football and it like kind of got in my mouth, be like
it's like some woman's purse got in your mouth.
You do that, and all of a sudden you just like intrinsic.
What is the how's the price-o-meter work?
So
you guess.
So first, but hold on. Before first, we want your taste out of 10, like 1 to 10, 2 points.
Technically, we could do 0 to 10.
0 to negative to 0.
Okay, so you get 0.02.
0.02.
Wow.
You're saying it's under a 1.
Less than a 1.
It was like tasting nothing.
That's part of the reason.
We overrate things. I think.
I think
sure.
so. I think we're too nice.
Yes.
I think we don't want to hurt feelings.
Because we said like 3s.
Is this like a local place or what is
No. So this is Washington, which is actually very disappointing to me because like I usually.
It's California Valley. Said right.
It's Columbia Valley.
It is Columbia Valley. You're right.
So like I usually like Northwest wines. This is disappointing. Like just.
So okay, you're under 1. Now price-o-meter. What would you?
Honestly, under 1's probably fair. I mean,
really, we're too nice. Objectively, it probably is a 1, but we try to get the benefit out, assuming that there is a worse wine.
My point is, it's not undrinkable, so I have to give it more than something.
As someone who is
it's
on
close to
class
undrinkable.
3.
It's close. I did not finish mine. It's the first time I've never finished the wine.
I'm not excited to drink it. I'm drinking it.
So there's a
I'm
good.
excited to drink it.
There's a good kind of word piece to it of. If this wine, after having these sips, if this wine was at a party, would you drink it?
Yeah, I'll be drunk. I won't tell a difference.
No, I mean like you walk in and you see it and you're like,
you walk in sober, you see
already,
that on the
you
table.
already know what it is.
I don't mean like a house party. I mean like a dinner party.
Dinner
like,
party, and that's the only option.
And that is
if there's
one
two
wine.
wines, if there's 2 wines,
I wouldn't even say
This
two.
wine or blind wine?
blind wine every
Blind
time.
wine, yeah.
Every
Yeah,
time.
absolutely.
You just be like, fuck it, I know how bad this is. How
Yeah,
worse
it's-
it is.
It also does not meet the qualification of you would bring this to a dinner party.
No.
Okay. You would not buy it casually for your own self.
No.
Okay.
But if someone handed you a glass of it, you would
As we have done
physically drink it.
As
Yeah,
we have,
if I don't see the bottle, whatever.
No. If you knew what the wine was,
Yeah.
Hey,
I'll drink it.
you'll
whatever.
drink it because
Yeah.
it's not disgusting. It's just
No.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind
It's
of
not gross. Yeah. It's
that's-
not exciting.
that's kind of the issue with inoffensive wine.
I'm waiting for the rancid wine that we're just like.
Longevity again.
Even longevity was like. So longevity is like legitimately like the worst wine.
so
It is a
now
garbage.
price-o-meter. How much do you believe that bottle was worth in the retail store?
The amount of bottles I bought and like
Limit jar.
$8.99.
I'm sorry.
$8.99.
$8.99.
That seems like a fair price for this wine.
That's
That would be a fair price. For
It
this
is $20.
it's $20.
It's the worst. That's the. That
In
is-
terms of value for taste, it's
this
the
is
worst
it's
we've had.
Yes, for
$20.
cost to value, this is the worst wine.
I will never.
So like
I never spent
longevity.
$20 on a bottle of wine.
Well, we normally buy like 8 to 16. This is a range,
Honestly,
really.
I think the only times we bought anything
under
under
10 sub 10 is very rare.
longevity and like the Mencia.
But long-
10 to 16 is our range.
No, the Mencia was 10. It was 9.
Okay, so longevity was 8.
10 to 16
But
is our range.
longevity
I said I'm going to pump it up.
was
I'm
on
going
sale
to
for
spend
it.
20.
It also wasn't the flagship wine.
I don't even know.
Longevity was the second one.
And we're going to all have wine we really love. I said I'm going to spend $4 extra more and spend 20 and get wine that we're all going to really like, and I'm going to crush it this week. And fucking punt
It's
it.
dry though. I like the dry.
So that's the thing is like
Yeah.
I like dry wine as
So
well.
we're
which is
3
why-
to 1 on dry.
Yeah, I'll do like the
Tanner
dry.
doesn't really like dry so much. The
Yeah,
dry,
Chartier also like.
the
I will
dry.
spend $4 more and get Agitator
Yes.
for $24, which we got 1 week.
I would prefer it to this.
Oh, God.
I would spend $4 less
And get 3-finger jack. Or 3-finger
Would you-
jack, yeah.
I think you got to try this 3-finger jack, Antonio, because it is the best wine.
It's no joke.
We still have not reviewed it on. It's not been scored. It's not been priced, although we kind of all have an idea.
I think it was
I believe
$16.99.
that's not-
But we should have a price up for it. She's here?
I don't know. Maybe.
No, wait.
Someone
It's
is knocking.
10:53.
Somebody's knocking?
That's just the fucking thing whistling. There's no way Mountain's out yet. No, wait.
Doors unlocked.
I mean, most people don't just walk into houses.
So we should roll back to the topic because this topic. So
That's
again,
true. We're kind of deviating.
I mentioned many times this topic really was inspired by a conversation that we were having with Antonio last night about the Fermi paradox and just sort of like what we think it means that we haven't been contacted. Right? What we're talking
We're
about?
diving
Yeah.
into this right now.
Yes.
We've been in this.
We're not for like 2 hours.
What?
Well, it's
We're
10:54. I don't know what time we started.
We started, but we're still not an hour yet. So
Yeah, we started late.
we started real late.
2 hours is 8:54. We were at the shop still.
Yeah.
We weren't.
We've not gone to break yet. So, anyways, so Antonio, we've been talking about the Fermi paradox. To get you up to speed a little bit, we talked about the Fermi paradox and like the great filter and how those things interact with each other.
Filter, yeah.
Tanner thinks that they are here for sure.
Like here within our.
Oh, I'm
within our
hardcore
region of
History
space.
Channel aliens. Like I'm
Aliens.
that guy.
Ancient aliens.
Not so much ancient aliens, but like literally, there's enough evidence, enough eyewitness, enough testimony from people inside the government, outside the government. That
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
even the Pentagon came out a few months ago and
Yeah,
said we got fucking crap from out of this
three
world.
videos.
Yeah,
They
Literally
didn't
said-
say that. They said UFOs.
No,
They said these crafts are not from this earth.
Did they?
Yes.
Okay, pull it up. I'll look at it. But moving on this
My life is
conversation.
almost dying. You'll have to join your.
I will do it. Moving on though from that, I'll look it up in the break probably at least or something. We also took so my perspective is like I'm really a big proponent of the sort of rare earth theory that like there is something about intelligence that isn't necessarily sustainable to life, whether or not it's something that like intelligence builds itself up and then blows itself up from nuclear war or whatever, or intelligence isn't always a system in which things get better, right?
Yeah.
Like there are plenty of creatures who exist better and better and better without ever developing to the point where they need intelligence to do so.
I just don't think a creature or species ever gets to an enlightened enough point to avoid nuclear arms.
We have them now.
No,
Obviously.
but that's the development. Nuclear technology is kind of that first step.
But it's
into
also potentially a
understanding.
big proponent for space travel too. So it's a weird paradox there too, right? Where like nuclear technology could potentially make it much easier for us to travel across the stars.
I don't know if you need nuclear power to fold space. I think that's the best way to travel.
You don't, but nuclear power is
Event Horizon taught me one thing, and it's don't fold space.
Oh my
that's
God.
how you go to hell.
That's how you go into the hell dimension.
Blow the star.
But
The core just collapses stars on itself.
but nuclear technology
No fucking thing.
is the most efficient way to produce it. Like
You're talking specifically
In
like
terms of-
fission and fusion?
in terms of like
Well,
fuel density. I mean, fucking our submarines use nuclear power. Like nuclear power is really efficient. Solar
dangerous and wasteful.
as good as I mean I'm not fucking liberal, of course I agree with you. But
nuclear power is actually one of the few areas where I kind of deviate and so that I'm generally in support of nuclear reactors.
I think most true liberals are actually in support of it because if you do the numbers,
It's fracking they don't like.
If you do the number, yes.
Connecticut had fracking for like 3 months, and in the same period we had earthquakes in areas that had never had earthquakes.
Every time I hear that word, I just think of Battlestar Galactica.
Because
I just say
so it was in eastern Connecticut, back under Malloy, and
I wasn't aware of that.
yeah. So there was a time we were having earthquakes like every 3 months. And they were like, yeah, it turns out this area has never had earthquakes before we started doing this. And thankfully...
Maybe there's a correlation.
And Malloy was like, how about we just don't do this for a little bit? And go figure, the earthquake stopped. And it's like...
Oof, that's rough.
You're like, let's try it again a little. Earthquakes again? They're like, okay, we're not going to do this
We
again.
should probably stop.
We should stop. I mean, none of them were super serious.
But it's just like...
But they were like, these are tremors that...
seismic events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think there was any substantial damage, but it was still just also because no one lived in the areas where they were happening, but they were just like, okay, clearly you have to take into consideration seismic activity when you pump water into the fucking earth where there wasn't water before.
So
aliens.
So Tanner is very much camp. Tanner is very much camp. They're here.
They're here.
Whether we're a zoo or
I don't lean towards that.
Or they're researching, but I'm saying
I do lean towards that.
There's a three. So there's kind of a three prong to the theory. How theories fall into. They're here. They don't care about us, or we're rare. I'm kind of a rare Earth believer. I think. I'm not sure yet.
So
what's your opinion, Travis?
As the kind of general cynic that I am, I think that it would be statistically unlikely that
so you're they don't give a fuck.
Don't you think it's slightly pompous to think we're rare, we're special, we're unique, we're not?
Yeah, I think with the near infinite amount of possibilities, I don't think we're rare or unique.
So rare Earth doesn't mean no other existence. Yeah. It's just that the space between.
Yeah,
Dave Matthews Band.
The space between.
Your position is that there could even be other Homo sapien variants.
It's pretty easy to by rare Earth. I mean, it's pretty easy to see us still being below our great filter.
Let me be very clear, also for any people when I say they're here and they're in contact, it is not shapeshifter, lizard people, reptilians under the ground in the corner.
They're also politicians.
It's all it's not that. It's not that. It really isn't that. I do believe because there's been multiple people within government say that there's I think from some of the reports from military officials that said there's 64 different fucking races that have contacted Earth from a variety of different types. Some that are very humanoid and look like us, but are taller. They're 6'7", 6'8", like all of them. And then there's the grays. Then there's the kind of good grays, and there's the bad grays. It's just there's too many. I'm just saying I'm more in that camp than
I would. So when I say that I'm kind of a skeptic on it, I think that I find it hard to believe that certain governments have been conspiring with extraterrestrials to focus on themselves, because it's very unlikely.
I'm skeptical.
I think it's very unlikely. Specifically,
government corruption knows no bounds, and this is just another.
No. I mean specifically.
Humans are leaky too, though.
They have been leaky. That's why we know about this shit.
But I'm gonna phrase it in the position that I don't think that we would have this benevolent alien come here and help
definitely
us.
Not.
That's where I'm skeptical.
There's one race of people have had interactions that say there's one race that does that.
That is benevolent?
Yes. And
so there's 63 that are malevolent.
No, not malevolent, that are more just indifferent and whatever. There's one that's specifically, they describe it as spiritual in nature.
Even. So we've got this Shi'ar fucking energy. That's the ones from Shathra.
You can
City,
Google
the
Pleiadians.
The Naru. Thank you.
You can Google Pleiadians. Those are you can even show a picture of it on the screen if you want. Pleiadians. Pleidians. From the Pleiadian constellation. Those are the ones that they say are loving, benevolent, helpful, want to help humans.
Sounds like the Fae folk to me.
They're blonde. They're blonde and tall.
The Nordic aliens.
They're blonde and tall.
So when I search that,
Nordic aliens.
Yep.
It
the
comes
Pleiadians, the Nordic.
Nordic aliens is what it comes up as. Yeah.
If you Google image them, it's gonna be all tall, blonde, blue-eyed aliens that look human.
Feels pretty conspiracy to me.
Sounds like Vikings.
I'm just saying that when you have X amount, if you have
Thor
if you have 10 million, if there's 11 million abduction stories a year worldwide, and X amount of them report. Grace, X amount report this, X amount report this, and X amount of that say, I was abducted by this type of race, and they look like this, and they didn't like do probing and shit on me. They like showed me math problems and shit, and they like.
So you're taking the position of at what point does a trend become a reality, and that do these isolated incidents
not
credence to?
I don't know if it's a trend. There's nothing saying.
No. I mean, so specifically, at what point does anecdote become anecdata? When do we see a story?
What if we just have the technology to understand what we're seeing now and understanding now? And part of it is through maybe Hollywood helping. But before any of this technology existed, these abductions happened worldwide, but we couldn't process it. I'm not saying it's.
I think specifically any abductions
biblical,
that occurred.
You know those biblical
50s.
stories that say I was taken up by a metal chariot up to the. I'm not saying it's that. I'm just saying, but could that be the best way we could interpret what?
Truth be told,
we're seeing?
When you talk, I don't mean you specifically talking about it. But when you hear people mention these instances of
Pleiadians are on stream now, by the way.
Sweet. My laptop went down. Damn. No.
So when
I'm gonna come around
we see these depictions,
because my laptop crashed.
like, oh, angels came and visited me and showed me all this like universal love and light and shit.
Yeah.
See that just being conveyed as a sort of spiritual or religious sort of instant for it. Was the burning bush dictating the?
Are you into ancient aliens territory here?
I mean,
No.
That's what kind of
I mean, I've definitely watched the show, and it's definitely interesting. Like Eric von Daniken's *Chariot of the Gods* was a, my father read that book like when he was in high school. Like he was just to, it's not something that's like new. It's been a topic of discussion since the 70s, easily.
I mean, one of the other elements to it that I think is we're kind of overlooking is when you talk about how these abductions or these visits have gone. They've been going on for 14,000 fucking years. When we look at that, when would it ever have been reported? And even
how could it
been reported
without being like, oh, that's the town fool? He started spewing off this crazy stuff, and we put him in a jail cell.
and that continued until pretty much fucking the 70s. So throughout all of human history, really, people who have been preaching like, oh, I was visited by these things, and now I'm preaching all stuff. They're like, the clinic you go to the asylum. So like, maybe, but I think when it really
speaking
comes
of which,
down
American Horror Story Asylum is the best American Horror Story season, and it has to do with aliens.
I think
it has to do with aliens.
Yeah, that's the whole
I
core.
want to see the circus one.
Oh yes, the
Freak Show was
Freak Show is weird.
It's
the one I've really seen too, actually. It's now.
Asylum's good. Asylum's very good, actually. It's like the last one that has Zachary Quinto in it.
I want to sweep this conversation though, because again, this was like postulated really because of the conversation we had. I really want to hear what you have to say about it, Antonio. How do you feel about the Fermi paradox at large?
I don't feel much about it, honestly. It's. I mean, I was really expressive about it last night for some reason. I don't know why.
Because you were on a fucking camera? Is that what?
Yeah.
Don't worry.
We don't watch this. Don't worry.
Nobody's watching this.
No one's watching it. Sorry for the one viewer.
I mean, the fascination about it is a great filter. Like, are you like behind it or in front of it? You know what I mean? So it's like that's what's kind of terrifying when you think about it.
What do you think? Do you think that?
I think we're behind it.
You think we're behind it? I think I agree with you.
Michio Kaku?
Michio
Kaku. Sorry, I always say that.
When I lean into the rare earth theory, it's because I think that
the limit, we have not yet approached the limit.
So we're rare in only that we haven't died yet.
He expresses that we're doing it all wrong in the sense that when we send out signals, we send it out on certain frequencies, and that one frequency we use is the frequency of hydrogen. And when an intelligent race would send out signals across a wide variety of spectrums,
but that would still be inclusive of hydrogen because it's the most common fucking element in the known universe.
Mm-hmm. Hydrogen is, yes.
Why would you not have
oxygen is not even close. It's like third or fourth.
16th.
Nitrogen is second, right?
No.
Helium.
Helium is second.
Or helium is second, that's right.
Yeah.
Even carbon's like 5th or 6th. It's pretty low.
Carbon is 6th.
No.
But
So-
carbon has the best
but-
ability
but-
to create life
Yeah.
because it has the most branches off of the.
Sure.
Sorry,
yeah.
No, it's stability. It's stability.
Four
It's
is the
a
thing
square
that-
stability, right? It's got
not 6.
it's got enough branches that it doesn't form isotopes so easily. That's what it is.
So we just kind of naturally say most likely life should more easily form around carbon.
But nitrogen is also a good opportunity too, because it's about the stability of
humorously,
the atom.
there's a very good band
Well,
called
if an alien
and
scanned
it's,
our planet, they would see our planet is nitrogen based. They wouldn't see oxygen first. It would be nitrogen is what makes up most of our atmosphere.
Sure.
So
minus the fact that nitrogen is predominantly inert. So one of the things
That's why it could make life, though. That's why they hypothesized it could make life.
No, but it's not necessary for life.
No, it's not. But I'm saying if you so you're translating it from our perspective of life. If you rethink away from a carbon-based life form into a nitrogen-based life form, it kind of has almost the inverse value, where a nitrogen-based life form has the same stability as carbon does. But we don't currently live in an environment where that is the way it propagates.
So the reason why we live in, or not the reason why, but the part of the reason why we have developed in the way that we have is because we wouldn't be able to live in an oxygen-rich environment. We wouldn't be able to live in a carbon-rich environment. Wouldn't be able to live in a hydrogen-rich environment either. The fact that nitrogen is inert and compromises most of our atmosphere is why we're able to.
Sure.
We are based on the other things that are there, and if it was inverted into any other variants, we wouldn't be humans.
So yeah, we would be humans. We might still be life, though. That's what I'm trying to say.
So by our current definition of what life is, it would be consisting of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen.
well, we could just take a look at how Earth was before when there was more oxygen in the atmosphere. The creatures were bigger.
Megafauna and megaflora. Yeah. And then a fucking asteroid ended that. The one thing that's always kind of interesting that I see
First of
pop
all,
up on news.
aliens.
This is exactly what I'm trying to say.
Aliens did it.
Just read
There's a
that.
spaceship.
That's what I'm trying to say to you.
Oh wait, hold on. Wait, shit. I'm supposed to take the conservative right side of these arguments. Sorry, dinosaurs never existed.
So Jesus wrote a dinosaur.
The
Humans
bones-
lived with them. The Ark experience. The Ark experience.
There was 2 velociraptors in the Ark.
Humorously, both of those are
that.
poisonous
Down in
to.
Kentucky. The guy who was here last week.
To us, yes, but the idea is you can essentially invert that equation. That's why it's interesting.
Fair. One of the other elements to it is that all dinosaur bones were planted by God to test your faith.
I love that one. That's
Love
good.
that, yeah.
You all. And it's like, you can't really argue with that because you didn't use a lot
It's like
of
we all
theory.
failed the test.
So I know we canceled Louis C.K. and this is kind of off topic a little bit, but I love his bit he has about how the Christians won, and essentially his postulation is like, if you don't think Christians have won, what year is it?
Common era. It's actually year 1 post-COVID.
What year is it? What year is it, Antonio?
Anno Domini.
I mean,
Yeah, but even with
This is not your question. What
it's
year?
because the fact that we switched over when it came to the
It's 2021, right?
Yeah.
So we're all we're marching from the clock since Jesus.
Yeah.
Since Jesus.
Since Jesus.
Except
It is 2021 since Jesus. It was 1 since Jesus,
Jesus was
2 since
allegedly
Jesus, 3
born
since Jesus.
in like 32 AD.
Sure, we all understand that shit's bullshit, but
Okay.
but still, the reason why we say 0 is based on what
There is no year 0.
what year 0 would have been was presumably the year leading up to the birth. Oh yeah, it's -1 plus 1.
It's not even negative.
It is.
It is moving forward.
It's
So
one.
this-
It
this
is.
like
It
this
is
this
negative
the
1.
issue.
My
with-
second
It's
book
negative
is
1
0.
Jesus.
Who made that
Negative 2
decision? Though?
Jesus.
Who
The church.
Christians.
Christian
Exactly.
scholars. Christian
So
scholars.
the Christians won.
Jesus wasn't like they thought it was a crazy. So
in fucking
Jews.
Shanghai.
Jews, yeah.
In Shanghai, it's 2021. You know what I'm saying? That's his theory.
And year of the ox coming up.
Yes, but still 2021.
That's true. Lunar New Year is February.
Yep. And last year was year of the fucking rat. I don't. It fucking
Wow. Was it?
How fitting.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was just so dirty, pestilent disease. Rat.
So is the ox supposed to show that we're all going to be like
So you're gonna
strong
take
and power
rat.
through this?
So do we want to take a quick break, come back, wrap it up with, Antonio here, questions, whatever we want to do?
Yeah. I'm down.
We ran a little strong
Stuff.
on the first session, but it's okay.
I would like something that doesn't taste like sand.
Yes,
I'll drink the sand.
the sand's gone.
Oh man, no more
Thank
sand.
God.
Is there more wine?
I mean, there's
I
always
hope-
more wine.
Is there any part of you that wish that our podcast makes them go out of business?
This
Our bad
wine
review. Is there? If it trickled down, if they traced it.
only because it costs so much. If it was a cheaper wine,
exactly.
if it was a cheaper wine, I would have no animosity.
Can you imagine? They drank that and then they had the balls to say $20.
It's pretty bold.
And I can tell you right
most
now,
of it's in the label, probably.
Yes.
The label
So
art,
keep
the
in
label.
mind,
This
that is a very pretty bottle.
This would be a pretty
and it
tattoo.
gives
I think,
no
actually.
indication
Yeah, that's a
on
good
how it
it's
tastes.
bold lines.
Should that have been my warning sign? If I saw that on the back had no description of its taste, should I?
That's what I said. That's what I said. Yes.
Fuck.
I mean, that means they don't give a fuck about the wine.
It's not that they don't give a fuck about it. It's that they are trying to sell it for the highest, seemingly appropriate value.
Oh, most surface area attributed to graphic as possible.
Yeah.
But like the label itself is actually pretty cheap.
I'm not surprised.
the
The
material?
wine inside is
No.
also pretty cheap.
So all that money went to the graphic designer.
Yes, which is
Gross.
I'm actually
I want my money
I'm actually okay with it because it's a nice graphic.
So
Actually, yeah.
I'll tell you right now, there's a mass-produced company called like Once Upon a Vine, and it makes like
And that's
really
gonna kill
bad fairy tale
That
versions of things.
that title.
All of those
makes me
wines
wanna
are
kill
infinitely
myself.
better than this, and that's like an $8 bottle of wine.
But
Like
still,
we said, we'd rather have the $2 Tisdale.
Yeah,
I would.
$2 to the
yeah, that's
Okay.
still from last week.
Anywho, we're gonna take a very quick break. Like
Break
very
time.
super short. Go take a piss. Go do the thing you
Wicked
gotta do.
pisser.
Grab a fucking
Wicked.
different wine, brav, and we'll come back.
We were looking
It's
at
like
Will we have Taco Bell when we come back?
Taco Bell will be in like 30 minutes.
That sounds amazing, actually.
It's coming. It's coming. Don't worry.
Is she getting it from local here?
Yes.
Okay. I was just
Shout out
get
to
it from there and then drive there. It's gonna be cold. That sucks.
Shout out to Alan getting some Taco Bell for us. We will see you guys in like less than like a couple minutes. We're gonna be quick. All right. All right. Going to other scene.
Goodbye, Bernie Sanders, if you're still here.
Bye,
Should I turn them
Bernie.
off? Should I turn them off?
Bernie looks cold.
All
It
right.
was very cold.
See you guys later.
All the photos of him were like walking with envelopes and stuff, and they're just like,
Envelopes?
yeah, like he was going to the post office, and there. Sanders is dressed and looks like he put the inauguration on his schedule of things to do today, but it wasn't the thing he needed to do today.
And we're back. First part of our show is about the Fermi paradox. Jake taught us all about it, explained it to us, and we kind of agreed. I don't know. I thought aliens were here. You're rare Earth.
The thing is, when I say I believe in that, I'm certainly open to the other ones. It's not like it's not, but I don't believe in believing either. So
The thing that you should take away from the first segment of the show is don't buy intrinsic wine.
yeah,
Intrinsic
yeah,
wine is hot trash.
yeah.
Truth be told, I don't even want to add it to the wall of wine.
You
But we have to.
We have to. We have to learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
Where's the said wall one?
Downstairs.
Downstairs.
Oh.
Next to the.
Needs to be migrated, I think, to one of these walls.
Yeah, I guess I should build shelves. Or
I love that. I love that off camera we have this just fucking door lean-to up here.
Dude,
Our set decor is like
this is the house of doors.
The house.
Like the Winchester house with doors that just lead nowhere.
oh god.
So actually, like,
Fucking
I
the
really
Winchesters,
like the
man of
story.
letters over here.
No,
Almost
I
supernatural.
really like the story of the Winchester house.
It's super dope.
I just
Yeah.
wish Supernatural wasn't bad.
Just doors that open up into courtyards like 3 stories
You know what
down
houses
Specifically,
in
it's for
California,
the
right?
yeah.
to
Yeah.
elude the ghosts
The ghosts. Yeah,
that were
They-
killed
they
by
elude
the
the
ghosts that were killed by the Winchester gun.
all of their guns, like the various
Yeah,
different
yeah.
ones. But yeah, like it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like,
Isn't
they
it
just
have,
kept
like, hallways
haunting
that get smaller?
Yeah,
It's
leading
like-
upstairs to nothing. Yeah,
doors that will open to like 3 floors beneath them. Just wow.
gotta
So-
confuse the ghosts.
So on the comeback, I would like to review
Ghosts.
the Boda Box.
Sure.
Is
You
this?
reviewing?
This is Boda Box right here. You didn't finish your first
I
wine.
didn't finish my first wine.
You can't have Boda Box till you
It's a
finish.
boat
Shout out
box,
Kobe.
but not the boat of brick.
Slanchu. Immediately. All right.
It's not great, but it's better than that.
Exactly.
Right.
I
Antonio.
mean, it's box wine, which costs less than
It doesn't cost $20.
that bottle of wine.
Yeah, I know.
Antonio, what would you rate this one?
As you gesture to the swill that we had before.
I don't know,
To be fair, this is closer to a 3 to 4 to me.
Yeah, I go to 4 actually.
Yeah.
You go for a 4, so he was 0.2.
I'm dropping my 3 to this. This is going to like a 1.52. It's bad. I don't like it at all.
No?
I mean, it's,
No,
it's
not the Bodo,
to show the audience.
Intrinsic.
The
Oh,
intrinsic.
That's still this is still Tanner's first pour of Intrinsic.
I usually always finish the wine. I can't do it. It's gross.
So
That's still your first 4.
I can't. I drink it and it's like it's
So-
drinking chalk.
Yeah.
So chalk is actually the very first thought I had.
Me too.
When I had it.
Yeah,
It's
just-
like
just
this
like-
is chalk.
Yeah.
And like I'll bring mine from the 4
Oh, I
hour
can't.
as well.
I can't let my legacy die like this. My legacy died when I wrote left is gauche, but it's fine.
There you go.
Left, right, gauche.
Left, right, gauche. But no, I'm gonna append my initial
rid
intrinsic
of
for
it.
my 4.
Dumpster it down your throat.
I dumpster
Because
down
this-
the drain in the sink out there.
The drain, the mouth drain. Got a fancy glass.
Boda is probably like a 4.5.
Yeah.
Like
Boda's 4. This is
Yeah.
1 to 2. It's just not good.
But it's still not good.
The
I mean,
fucking
No,
balls
it's,
on that
but in the
company.
same token,
They
it's
charge 20.
like
$20.
it's $15 for 3 liters of wine.
it's
So
also
like,
and it's also dry.
and it's dry.
It is
And
dry.
That's why I like it.
I take this back. I wouldn't want to drink this as I brought up an example like, oh, this could be like the wine that high schoolers stole from their parents to just get alcohol. No, I'd rather drink Dubra
Dubra.
than this.
I probably would too.
That's
Dubra
Not
mixed with
straight.
mixed, no, not straight. Mixed with something.
Gatorade.
Sure. Why? Anything.
I not
Du-
even
du-
fucking.
That's
the-
all
Dubra,
I'm saying.
Dubra in
Yeah.
sponsored Hodgman Mountain Cranberry Soda.
I would
do that.
I would
Would be
fuck with that
amazing.
in a heartbeat.
Amazing.
over this.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I have such
I'm
a
actually sad that my gin and cranberry is gone.
I don't have COVID.
That's for you. You gotta finish it. There's like the smell of it.
How about
I
Barnett?
should have got more. I should have got a bigger gin.
Barnett-
Burnett's is actually weird.
Burnett's is actually kind of good.
Burnett's regular is okay. It's
Uh,
not great.
Burnett's ginger is okay too.
The fact that Burnett's has a fucking
Am I
fruit
leaning
punch
into Bernie?
vodka-
Is he still here?
Bernie's gone.
Oh, okay.
Do you want him back?
No, it's
He
fine.
went
I just
back
didn't
to
want
the
to be like in him. Like
Yeah.
I mean,
he wants to be in
he wants to be in my fucking wallet. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll see myself out, guys. Thank you for coming. Left
not-
right cab.
that was my
Left
sense
right cab.
Sounds like communist propaganda to me. Now it's just left only cab.
It's in a room of Bernie.
Enjoy your echo chamber, guys.
In a room
I'll
of,
be the voice of dissent.
in a room of Bernie crowds. Tanner stands alone.
Oh, fuck. This is so bad.
Would you rather Bernie Sanders be president, or that was the only wine you could have for the rest of your life?
No, because then he would just
That's
not
a
drink
ridiculous
wine.
question.
No.
Bernie Sanders for president,
Or that was the only
that
beverage.
is the only thing you could drink ever.
Oh, Bernie.
There you go.
See, look
Because
at
he
that.
would get you all of the wine
Yes.
that he'd repossess from someone else.
No, I'm just saying, Bernie is a potential 4-year rocky road, whereas this is
First off,
a
Rocky Road ice cream. It's delicious.
Bernie or
It's
Biden?
got everything you need.
Tanner, Bernie or Biden?
One of them is a war hawk. The other
And,
is not.
and it's not Bernie.
Bernie.
We
He
have-
has some crossover to libertarian principles. So he's pro pardoning Snowden, whereas Biden is like hunt the fucker down, and because it was during him and Obama's administration that they got their pants pulled down. So, yeah, no, I Bernie over Biden. And I'm not a fan of Bernie, but if you're giving me two, if I had to choose, I'll take Tulsi Gabbard over both of them. But
I know that, but it's because she's leaning righter lately.
she's hot.
Lele.
Personally, it's the gray streak.
Yeah, the rogue.
Yeah. But
What are your thoughts on Trump announcing he's going to make another party called the Patriot Party?
Oh please!
I'm pro that in a
I
heartbeat.
really hope it happens.
Because that will guarantee a Democrat in office forever.
It will destabilize the Republican Party for like literally the rest.
Patriot Party.
And their initials would be PP.
But no,
And that's gay.
truth be told, if that happened, I would
It might be the downfall of the two-party
the
system.
two-party system. And as much as I would love to say, it would
Time
guarantee.
for the Libertarian Party to rise.
Honestly, I'm fine with that.
truth be told, I've always
Coalitions
told
are the only way for our democracy to move forward, I think.
Yeah.
And we have no process for that right now. Because
The only way to achieve that, though, is
parliament. We don't have a parliament.
So I actually don't think we should have a full parliamentary system.
Bring back the monarchy.
So you don't like percentage representation of parties?
So not entirely. Because,
so like libertarian...
that gives... So, and I mean this because when you have that, it will give, and it is truly a double-edged sword for it, fringe parties a platform.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in like libertarian or Green Party. I mean that in like the alt-right. I mean that in... With
the Tea Party?
Not even the Tea Party.
Plenty of a platform. Like
the Tea Party itself was brought into the GOP, so that's not an equal.
They got immersed into it.
It didn't just get immersed; it took over the GOP because
for 4 years during the midterms of Obama, and
because
you had the Michelle Bachmann types.
I don't agree with you. The Tea Party is the reason why Donald Trump got elected.
Because right, but then you have people that like Rand Paul that like the Tea Party's core concept.
I mean, Mitch McConnell didn't like the Tea Party.
No, because
Tea Party held him accountable too. They said you're spending too.
He's still a Sith Lord, but
like you're no different. You're also just big spending and taxing. We don't want like you're.
So one of the things
he's pro impeachment right now. So
yeah,
that just shows he has no fucking backbone.
On the contrary, this is one of the few things that I despise Mitch McConnell. Like I think I've said it multiple times.
Worse than Donald Trump.
Significantly worse than Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. Mitch McConnell is a very calculating individual. He knew that the survivable event was Donald Trump, so it was I'll stick with you for 4 years because you have term limits. I do not. Mm-hmm. Sure. Much like the Supreme Court. Think of this
calculated.
The entire Supreme Court, even with Amy Coney Barrett, said, "Go fuck yourselves. We're not going to even get involved in any of the cases presented about voter fraud and anything else."
Because
a unanimous court said that.
Because
they don't have term limits.
They don't have to care.
Once they're there, there is no fealty. Yeah. Fucking Neil Gorsuch sided with liberals more often than
liberals. I mean, again, liberal.
Well, no, with the liberal justices.
But isn't that good?
Yes,
isn't that showing that they literally are rational people of human?
I do think that the Supreme Court is flawed in some instances, but it is one of the judicial branch is one of the few things that I actually am like.
But it is.
This gives me some semblance of hope for a functioning government.
Its biggest flaw is that it's portrayed as nonpartisan, and it is.
And it is.
It is partisan.
And I think if they just leaned into that,
yes, it would be.
Yeah. You wouldn't have to worry about it so much.
It's kind of shocking that we've come this far. It's 2021. We don't have term limits for senators. I think that's
that's problematic.
That is super problematic.
As a Bernie-crat, I'm a Bernie-crat out of necessity, right? I don't think Bernie Sanders should have to fucking run anymore.
You gave me that scenario of Bernie versus Biden. I know your answer is going to be a dumb question.
The churning of
Bernie or Ron Paul.
Bernie.
Yeah, take Bernie.
Easily. But
mostly because I disagree with the economic policies of Ron
what you
Paul.
should really ask is
many of the social positions.
What you really should ask Ron Paul or Biden. I'm a little bit closer on.
Ron Paul or Biden?
I'm still Biden, but not by a lot.
I don't think
he talks about cutting the military.
He's
cutting the military.
No. So when I bring that up, it's predominantly he cares about slashing most federal spending.
Sure.
And I don't think that we can do that. Like I will always kind of move towards being a statist.
My point being,
because
I don't think he could succeed at it. That's why.
Gross. I'm gonna sit over here now.
Fucking statist. No, because truth be told, I don't think we saw it with the pandemic.
I can't do it.
People are bad at handling it.
I can't do it.
You can't have.
You're so close.
Can't have local responses.
Just fucking down it.
There are sober kids next door. They're not even in India.
Who are starving for this one.
They stole it from their grandparents.
You can do it. Don't not finish your first one.
Succumb to peer pressure.
Just chug it. Just fucking do it. Just
straight
to the gullet.
This is the mob mentality.
Straight to the gullet. Don't even think about it.
But this is gonna splash in my stomach. And
the acid too. I know you have reflex issues.
That too.
I wish we had some Tums for you.
I do.
Taco Bell is coming.
I don't know if that's helping.
Taco Bell with that.
To help your acid
I
reflux.
have massive acid reflux, man. It's so bad.
I just
bending down to tie my shoes and coming back up, it fucking triggers. It's disgusting. Because
Oh,
it's just like the acid
you were
pours
triggered?
down.
I had the same problem.
Oh.
Yeah. Same
I
problem.
don't have acid
I
reflux.
take a Meprazole every morning. I take a pill. I have to.
I think my alcoholism
I just
has
took a
trained
pill
my
for a
body
long time,
not to
yeah.
worry
It
about
just
it.
like subsides, so I can eat during the day. Like,
I am not actually I'm amazed that I don't have more health issues.
Me too.
I think it's just like, oh no, we're saving it up for all the
it's gonna
cancer.
be one
You're
fireworks
safe.
finale at the
Yeah.
end.
I think there's this sort of like scenario in which I've just treated my body so poorly that it's like, well, what the fuck? How could it get any worse? Just like whatever.
I love the quote of like, this is the only body you have, treated appropriately. And it's like you either treat it like a temple or you treat it like the used Honda Civic. It's got 300,000 miles on it.
It's still going.
It's still
Jake,
going.
Can I ask you a personal question?
This water and oil man.
And let me ask you a personal question. I mean, no offense by this question. I'm genuinely curious. If you can see in the camera, Jake is a larger individual. Has
Sure.
some weight.
Smaller than
I've lost a lot of weight.
That's good. That's good. But the thing is, I've only known you in this vacuum. So I mean,
That
in terms
cost-
compared to me, you definitely have more weight on you than I do.
Sure.
What have you done to lose the said weight that you just mentioned? And two, would you ever consider doing something like the keto diet to just really just go up? Or I mean, insert X diet, to just shed it down.
The only thing that works is intermittent fasting.
Intermittent fasting is your.
That's the only thing that has ever worked for me. Just less calories.
Do you actively pursue weight loss in general? Just curious.
I'm
That's why I said it's a person. You don't have to answer.
I'm off and on. Like I said, I'm down most of my weight, so I'm getting closer to my ideal weight every day.
That's good.
That said, I don't feel unhealthy at all. Like I'm pretty strong.
Right.
Stronger
than me, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Strong form boy.
Like again, I'm not in no way trying to offend you, but
It's dope. I mean, I'll admit it. I'll be the first to admit it.
what I'm
I'll be
saying
the first to admit it.
would be stronger than you. for
I'm
sure.
the first one to say I will pay for muscle. I will hire muscle. No problem.
That's great.
I'm like,
No
weight doesn't actually determine health either. Like it's like I have a lot of like core strength, and a lot of people who are heavier do have that. Weight is not
Commonly from like as another big dude
from carrying it around, but also just from having the energy constantly available. So like when you go to lift something, your body immediately replaces that calorie intake, whereas some other people might need to source that calorie so your muscles don't build up so easily.
Like my weakness, especially because I have like a little bit of pooch and I'm not a fan of it. My weakness is soda. That's my downfall.
I hate soda.
That's my downfall.
I hate soda.
I fucking love Mountain Dew. I don't like coffee, so I need caffeine of some sort, and that's what does it for
I
me.
just drink.
Let's
I
do
drink.
it.
Mine's all drinking. If I didn't drink for a month, I would lose another 20 pounds probably. Honestly, like that quickly.
I lost about 25,
so it's just all
30
the empty
pounds.
calories, right?
I'm about 40 pounds over the weight that I want to be. Is where I would call myself.
So I'm about 25, 30 pounds less than I was this time last year.
I'm like 65,
and
70
it is
pounds.
predominantly because
Less.
of COVID.
I have known you before that, so it's
You did, but you just like it happened. You know me during it,
It's gradual.
so you haven't seen the change.
No.
Like when we first met, I was probably at least 25 pounds heavier.
I mean,
It's just
that's
not-
greut. Congrats. I'm sorry if I've never. I was like, oh, you're looking great.
But I'm saying we see each other.
Tanner's a dick friend. He never compliments my weight loss.
I'm not looking for that.
So-
We see each other regularly,
Yeah.
right? And also, like you can even look at the podcast. You look at the first one and the last one. I'm skinnier than I was in the first one.
I have to do that.
It's a weird thing to think about. That said, weight loss is a goal, but it's not like it's not the goal. It's just a thing that I'm pursuing among other things.
So one thing that I actually
Damn it.
living in a
Chug it.
in a
Just drop
post-COVID
it.
sort of life. And I guess this is kind of an open question for the three of you. Most initial estimates were stating fall to next year of any degree of normalcy.
Yeah.
Like 2018, we won't get there until like end of 2021, early 2022.
So my
What
company.
is the thing that you want or that you are looking forward to?
Doing again?
Concerts.
Oh, concerts. It's up
Concerts.
Concerts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say the same. Concerts. It's
For me, it's hosteling and traveling international. Just traveling. either for work.
Actually, yeah, travel.
Travel's good. Concerts is more regular. That's the thing. Because travel,
so, live music is for me. So
live music is concert. What do you mean? I'm agreeing with you.
Are we not going to say restaurants and bars, like normal fucking restaurants and bars?
So, in Connecticut, we've kind of weaseled away back into a little bit.
You're not allowed to eat in this room, but if you build a room outside of this room, you can eat in that room.
Okay. First off, the
that will trick the virus.
Igloo legislation, to me, actually kind of makes sense because if you've ever been to any major city in Canada in the winter, that's already there. It's like, oh yeah, be in a heat lamp igloo, and like it surrounds your table, and that's it.
It's pretty dope.
And you're the only one who's there, and it's got direct open vents like to the outside.
That's why Canada's not a superpower, so whatever.
Yeah, and the quality of life there is like leaps and bounds above ours. Must be all that socialized healthcare.
How like Scandinavia is like the happiest place on earth, and it's also
the highest rate of suicides.
It does. It's also
Over Japan?
No. You're thinking of Norway specifically.
Yeah.
Scandinavia at large is not the highest.
Okay.
Just Norway.
Norway is up there.
It's only up Norway
They're
the Danish thing.
Homogenous. Yes. Okay.
But
as is Japan.
But also like socialized healthcare and happiness seem to have a correlation.
Or,
I think because when you remove
the stress
of it, or if you remove and again, I'm sure you're at this point like, oh God, I need ownership and accountability. You know who your healthcare providers are. You know that you have to consciously be aware of these things, and there's a certain comfort in maintaining that degree of control.
There's comfort in not being taxed 78%. That's what my comfort is.
So I think Canada is 70% though.
It's not. It's like
I'm being very
35.
I'm being very facetious.
We're at 33. Like
what's very facetious when we're talking about the European Nordic countries. I'm being.
We don't need to. We can use Canada. It's
the closest. So Canada's the closest.
Truth be told, Toronto is just North Chicago.
Well, it's the thing is
Montreal is
Canada's the closest analogy, right? Because Canada is the closest socialized government to America. It really is.
I mean, I'm sure that
they have private options.
No, not physically. I mean, like in terms of
structure. Life structure.
Yeah. Canada is America. If you tried socialized government for a while, socialized Medicare. I mean,
not just that. I think it's if America wanted to kind of go back to
European
roots
and wanted to have a really handsome dude as like president.
Fucking Trudeau is like the only world leader who like
can wear blackface and not get canceled.
He's like
on it's brown face actually.
Yeah, he's also on GQ.
You're fucking crying.
He's also on GQ or whatever.
Yeah, I mean when there were videos of him when his dad was prime minister.
Really?
Yeah, unfortunately, not just once.
Not once.
A lot.
Yeah.
The blackface.
Yeah, dressing like an actual
indigenous person. Yeah.
No, not a native or tribal person. He was dressed as an India Middle Eastern.
But that's not cultural appropriation because Justin Trudeau's on our side.
No, it is.
Oh no, he's on the left.
Here's the thing. Is you're fucking wrong. That like the reason why liberals.
I'm not saying you two. You two are of sound mind. I'm talking about the wingbat nuts crazies on the internet.
I legit disagree.
And those are the people who did push to cancel Justin Trudeau.
I think liberals.
And it didn't happen. So that's
why
conservatives backed him.
I think liberals eat themselves faster than conservatives do, and that's the thing.
Yes.
Like we all shit on Obama constantly. And then, Obama was the closest thing we've had to
put up the fucking Frodo meme.
Gets it.
Put it up. It's over. It's done. That fucking Frodo meme.
I thought you meant that man has just been staring at us since we said.
Oh, I need to watch it down.
What I'm trying to say, good job. Hey,
watch it out with gin. Lovely.
Oh. To shitty wine we may forget. Put that shit back in the trash. Fucking trends again, that shitty wine I will never drink again.
Well done. Well, good.
That was very good.
I'm actually really good at that. I've never done it before for you guys.
This is the theme song for this podcast.
Bunch of guys talking about wine.
We're drinking some wine tonight.
But, to Jake's point, I think that the liberal left is very quick to form that sort of circular firing squad and eat each other a lot.
Yes.
Whereas in America, I think that's predominantly
the lockstep doesn't happen for us,
and the lockstep does for conservatives, and I think predominantly it is because people on the left,
It lingers.
It lingers.
people on the left hate Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
People on the right love him for pretty much everything he's done, despite the fact
Yeah,
that
a lot of people on the right.
No, libertarians don't.
libertarians don't.
Oh, that's fair.
But so when you think of right,
Lockstep conservatives do.
yeah, which is most of it. Libertarians, you are, as you know, a small percentage of the voter bloc.
4% of the voting bloc.
And like this is not to fucking blow you in any way, but I have
power through it.
I'll power through it. I have a lot more respect for libertarians than I do for conservatives. Overall.
That's a compliment. Why'd you say that?
No, he said he didn't want to blow you.
Oh, I see.
Interacting with you makes him appreciate libertarians.
Oh, thank you.
more.
Yes. But in general, I mean, I thought that before you, but you also exacerbate it too. It's like
I do a little bit of a devil's advocate for the show. And
Yeah.
Where I don't, sometimes when I bring up points, it's to try and challenge you guys, and it's not, I don't necessarily convey or hold those viewpoints.
Yeah.
It's just for the audience.
I think overall,
All 7 of them.
I clearly don't. I clearly don't agree with libertarianism over like in every case, but I do really feel strongly about the ability to stick to a belief system or
Do you
whatever.
believe,
not belief
do you
system, but
believe
like-
that there is a social, collective, moral contract in some issues? Insert issue here, X, whatever, it doesn't matter. Do you believe that that exists somewhere along the line?
I think that is the
actually.
problematic issue with conservatism for me is that there is an inherent lack of commitment to anything. Like there is no like I don't see to conservatism at large. I don't see a core idea.
all of the reasons why it would also support him.
It's the fact that one at his age still doing it is fantastic. That's true.
Brett Favre was in the Super Bowl around the same time.
Sure, that's fantastic.
Brett Favre? Yeah, he was like 43, 45.
The reason why I think he's the GOAT is because he's still doing this, and he makes the players around him better. I don't know if the other QBs do that.
You're approaching it as a true leader elevates others rather than drives change themselves.
Those wide receivers on his core become better because Brady does that. There's an element.
He's throwing deflated balls.
Oh my god! Shots fired.
Oh no! If I were to choose a football team that I would more often than not root for, it would probably be the Patriots. Like I am through and through a New England fan. So like the only team that I actively care about is the Bruins.
And I love me some 80s and 90s. I love me 80s, 90s Celtics. I love the Larry Bird era.
Like New England itself, or you're talking about New England the team?
A bit of both. Yeah. I am also, and
not the Hartford Whalers.
First off, the Whalers, then eventually became the Canes. So
Whalers on the moon.
We carry a harpoon. We tell tales.
We tell tales and sing this shanty tune. It's something like that.
I think it's something. We tell tales is the second part. I think it's like
we tell tales and
I have no idea.
Sing a shanty tune.
We're Whalers on the moon.
And then they start driving around like, hey, turn on the radio. Yeah. Like, we're Whalers on the moon.
Turn it off, it's like the Disney World of like
the moon.
Yeah.
But it's really cheap Disney.
That's the second episode.
Isn't Al Gore the emperor?
That's the second. No.
He's defeated the mighty moonworm.
Yeah.
We're talking about this is the second episode of Futurama. It's the first episode after the pilot.
Wait, that's when Fry's like, all right, can I do the countdown? And he's like, 10, 9, 8, 6, 6, 5, 5.
And it's like, hey, we have a delivery to the moon. He loses his mind. And they're like, no, it's just a shitty amusement park up there.
Exactly.
The moon sucks.
Yeah, exactly. It's like going to Vegas as an Amish or something, you know?
Rumspringa is like the only reason they would go, and that'd be fucking wild.
I quote Futurama regularly. I have it on loop. It's just over and over.
I've seen every episode of the first 4 seasons probably 10 times.
Let's also talk about how the first 4 seasons is the Star Wars
original trilogy.
That said,
is that sorry? Real quick question.
1 through 4 is fantastic.
In 1 through 4, is that where we have Slurms McKenzie?
Yes.
Then yes.
Party on. Contest winners and party on. I'm so tired.
That said, though, the movies are still very good.
Movies are good.
And even the return seasons are good, too.
But it's just, there's something about the quotes, there's something about the timing of the jokes.
And in the spirit of what you and I talking about, we do agree, I think, on this. Disenchantment is finally getting closer.
It's only on like episode 2, isn't it?
Of the new season?
Oh, Disenchantment?
Yeah, it just dropped a new season.
Yeah.
Disenchantment is
high fantasy.
I don't like it.
I've not seen it.
You don't like high fantasy though, so whatever.
It's not Futurama.
I appreciate.
I think if you go into it expecting Futurama or even expecting Simpsons,
you want me.
You want
the newest season of Disenchantment is the highest quality.
Yeah, Simpsons is to me they're all very good, and Simpsons is Tool, and Futurama is Perfect Circle, and Disenchantment is Pussifer. And
I love that.
No fucking joke. When that came up earlier, Jake was like, I don't think this is Pussifer. And I was like, so is it a perfect circle? Because it doesn't sound
hold
like
on.
Tool.
Opposite happened. You said perfect circle. You were certain of it. I was like, yeah.
I wasn't certain. I was like, I know that this is the fucking singer.
And I was like, yeah. And I said, yeah. I don't think it's perfect. I don't think.
We're talking about trivia night, by the way, fans.
Because Pussifer typically has more
weirder songs.
Yeah, weirder than that. Yeah, that
song is one of their more tame songs.
That was a very weird. It was a very strangely tame Pussifer song. It was weird how not weird it was.
Truth be told, I was like, don't know if Coheed or Prizefighter Inferno, because I've never heard this song before. And then I was like,
a single, so
we still watch it though, so whatever.
When in doubt, go Coheed with me.
Yeah.
But I was
when
just
in
like,
doubt, Coheed it out.
They are my favorite band, but no, Futurama could be my top 3 favorite shows. Like
me too.
Really.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so then I guess to the collectors.
Oh, anyways, that meme you said with the Slurms when he takes his glasses off and his eyes are all bloodshot. And there's a meme that goes, Little John in 10 years. And he's like, I'm so tired, Tony. I'm so very tired.
That's fucking great.
That's like, what would you put as your top 3 favorite shows?
We go to this question here.
Actually, King of the Hill's up there for me.
Okay, so Mike Judge.
I never got
I
it.
just don't love.
I
love
love
that
King Hill.
subtle
I own
humor.
it.
You know
so
what?
I own the whole thing.
You own the whole thing?
I love it.
Here's the
It's
deal.
great.
I watched that when I was really into like The Simpsons, and I was really into South Park, and
Well, yeah, they were
younger.
also-
But
So
it's not trying to cater to
So are we sticking
Right, and that's why I probably didn't get it. I think older, I might enjoy it now, but when I was a teen, young, 14, I didn't get it.
Are we sticking to animated like comedy series like that, or are we trying to make it?
Because my all-time favorite shows are not anime. Would be okay. It's like Sherlock and Battlestar Galactica and shit. Like,
okay. So, anyways,
no, but are we talking about animated? That's a good question. I want to know.
yeah,
would be animated, yeah.
being narrow, I think is good. So,
Okay.
animated comedies,
No, I was just gonna say animated shows.
including anime,
No. Different
Yeah,
That's all
category.
different.
animated American shows, Uncle Iroh.
Yeah, I was honestly gonna go Avatar.
Okay.
Avatar: The
Avatar's
Last
amazing.
Airbender. The Last Airbender.
We're not counting that as anime.
So that
No,
was
that's
kind of
not-
the question.
It's
of,
American.
like-
It's American.
No.
anime.
Put that. I just want to put anime in a totally different
All right,
category.
fair enough. Fair
We're
enough.
putting stuff we see on fucking Fox and NBC and CBS at night. You know, like
So,
Oh, no, I'm not-
if
so my-
Adult Swim, whatever.
Adult Swim. things
Comedy animated
like that.
series.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
so this isn't a comedy though, but it is an animated series. It's
non-
not anime.
Non-action, essentially.
Hey Arnold.
Oh,
Sure. That's good.
That's a comedy. It's a comedy.
It's kind of slice of life. It gets
It
real dark
is.
sometimes.
It is, but it's certainly from a comedic sitcom perspective for sure.
You ever see the picture of the guy who played Hey Arnold?
No.
Voiced him? He's fucking gorgeous. He looks like Jason Momoa.
What?
He's fucking
Really?
gorgeous.
Jesus.
That's great.
Someone's got a Momoa fetish, apparently.
Yo, Jason Momoa is fucking all man.
Oh man.
You are a
Oh.
dude.
So, anyways,
Yes.
what were you saying?
Yeah. So Hey Arnold, the original X-Men animated series, and Batman Beyond.
Oh yeah, Batman Beyond.
I think those are.
See, now here's the second question. Now we're gonna cut this filter again.
I will also
Are
take
we
Batman
talking
the
about
animated
shows
series.
that we grew up as kids? Because those were younger. I mean younger.
Have you watched any of those recently?
Like those
Holy
shows were
shit.
back when we were younger. Are we talking like more adult? Because Futurama and Disenchantment, these are more adult themed cartoons.
Futurama came out in like 2002.
But no, I'm saying they're more adult themed cartoons
Sure.
than Hey Arnold.
Watch Hey Arnold.
Now, I understand. You know, what I mean, it's on Nickelodeon
shit
for
is
kids.
dark.
You know, that's what I'm talking. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing because
Sure.
I fucking love Courage the Cowardly Dog. I'm fucking all about that.
So
yeah.
Courage the
Hot
Cowardly
take,
Dog,
hot take,
Invader
though.
Zim.
Invader
Those
Zim
things
is
were not really geared.
Can I actually
toward
hot
the
take?
darker.
Hotter take than what you're trying to go for? Batman Beyond's an anime.
You'll take it that route.
I think I will.
That's an
Okay, then I will append that.
That's
I see your claim, and I.
It's not. It's not.
I yield the
I
floor.
can see it,
But
but like I could see
you do
it
see
kind
what
of
I'm
in
getting at.
that sort of
The structure.
monster of the week.
Like
very,
action-
It's Mark Hamill's Joker, right?
What is?
no, it's Batman the Animated
No,
Series.
he's also He's also Mark
So-
Hamill was also Batman Beyond too.
So we can't use
Seriously?
Is it
Teen
okay?
Titans.
Teen Titans.
Okay, Teen Titans is a total anime. No
is-
fucking
so
question
Teen
about it.
Titans.
Yeah. I love
Teen Titans is more of an anime than Batman Beyond is.
Yeah.
I agree though.
Teen Titans.
The original run of Teen
original,
Titans
yeah.
is so fucking good.
Yeah.
So if I can't,
Oh my god.
if I cannot have
So let's just focus on.
Avatar: The Last Airbender,
I think comedies are like easier just to say like comedies and sitcom style.
there's
Yeah.
like 4 of them.
But then it's fused for.
No, Hannah works.
Me,
I think.
it's,
Hannah
it's-
works.
has to be. As far as I have 2 categories. I have my adult humor ones and my kid ones I watched as a kid.
So like Ed, Edd n Eddy or something like that.
So my adult ones are going to be Futurama, South Park.
I can't.
I do really like Big Mouth. Big Mouth is very funny.
Big
Big
Mouth,
Mouth-
I
Big
will-
Mouth is
Big
funny.
Mouth
But I
is
don't know if
fun.
it's in my top 3. But
Nick Kroll does.
Oh,
some
John
good
Mulaney
stuff.
too.
John
Oh,
Mulaney as well. Like
no.
John Mulaney's probably my favorite stand-up comedian.
I love him
right
so much.
now.
Yeah, even though he has a cook problem.
I mean,
right now,
even
I still
Hollywood
love-
doesn't.
I still love
And
Tom
he's like
Segura.
in me out for it.
So
Tom
I,
Segura, his delivery, the way Tom delivers is so good.
I didn't really care much for Tom Segura, and then I watched The Cabin, which was
it's so fucking great.
a brief series.
Yeah,
with
he-
fucking Burt Kreischer.
I'm
So
surprised
good.
you just didn't watch his stand-up specials. You know.
I did after.
Tom Segura
so
is
seeing
Brett
Tom-
Kreischer funnier though.
Yeah, he's just a better version of him.
Mm-hmm.
So like, but that was the thing. It's like I was a fan of Burt Kreischer, so
Like
never
Valentine.
After the Machine. But like, so I was watching that, and Tom Segura's there, and I'm just like, I didn't know anything about Tom Segura.
He's
as,
very
like, a person.
deadpan on his delivery of his jokes.
Not just that, but like his entire life, the fact that like he's lived a very unique life, and also the fact that he took a chainsaw to an emu, emu carcass to like break it down, and I was like, I need to watch his stand up, and I did, and I was like, he's good.
Yeah.
Still gonna say I like John Mulaney.
I have an adult humor show that was a kid cartoon that was on your list. That
Rocko's Modern Life.
Rocko's Modern Life.
Oh, that's good.
There's so many adult references. The Shining. There's a whole episode about The Shining, and that when
Rocko was a phone sex operator.
He is a phone sex operator.
Yeah. Heifer.
He was the one cow in a house of wolves, which was funny. Like there's so many things into that. Invader Zim itself was also stupid.
Rocko. Oh, by the way, the Invader Zim is fantastic. I love
I
Invader
never got into Invader Zim.
Oh,
it's real dark.
it got so dark they canceled it. Dark because
Yeah.
he murders a kid,
Lovely.
and he tortures and murders a kid. He like rips his eyeballs out of his socket while he's still alive. Like, and it was on Nickelodeon.
Like Aaron.
He put a
And he pulled
Sharpie
up-
face onto a zit that, when he flicked, the pus inside would hypnotize people, and he was like stare into pustulio, and would do that, and then do terrible things to like his thralls.
So it didn't show the torture. It pans to the wall and shows the shadow of it. He rips the kid's eyeballs. The kid's screaming terror. He shoves a sharp thing down the kid's throat. It's like, this is not for your 8-year-old child.
I mean, good show.
How about this? What is the scariest Are You Afraid of the Dark skit?
It is.
I got mine.
I wasn't watching.
It made me terrified.
I have mine.
It might be one of my fears is what it is.
So this had to do with a hag, more or less, in a like forest sort of area, and these kids show up there, and like she's like, "I will kill you if you don't answer my riddles." And it actually is one of my favorite things, a favorite kind of like riddle wordplay thing. And it's like, how far can you walk into a forest?
That's pretty terrifying.
And the answer is halfway. The other half you're walking out.
Or dying.
So like, regardless of size, shape, everything, you're always walking. There's always going to be a point where you're no longer walking into it, and you'll always be walking out of it.
Or
and then like
dying.
and it's like, what do you put in something to make it lighter?
Nothing.
A hole.
Oh yeah.
And just like a whole bunch of other shit for it. And like, it was just, I liked it because I was like, oh, okay, this
You
is
can
like,
escape me if you answer these riddles 3.
more or less. But I think probably the scariest Goosebumps was
Not Goosebumps. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Look Who's Talking Now. The fucking...
Goosebumps is so big in my head.
Not Goosebumps. I'm not talking about Goosebumps.
Yeah,
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
but specifically that. Another one was the dead girl who was trying to have these kids help her solve her murder, and then she's like, oh yeah, I'm the dead body that went over this cliff.
My one that made me terrified, even like for so long, even when I was like fucking 13, 14, when I should fucking know better, was there's an episode of a public pool, and there's a spirit in the pool, and it pulls kids under, grabs their foot, and pulls one and drowns them, and you never see the spirit, and then they find out it is a spirit. Some of the kids are like, it's a spirit. It's the thing that died in this whatever, and they find out that some kind of chemical in the janitor's closet, if they trick the ghost out, they can dump it out so we can see it. It'll expose it. Whatever. Stupid science. And so
Stupid science.
Stupid science.
Scary story science.
Scary science.
Yeah.
And they do it and they show it to him, and his face is a skeleton. He's a skeleton. He looks like a fisherman though. His fisherman trench coat. And he's a skeleton. And he has red decaying seaweed stuff all over him, right? And he's
Why would he have drowned in a pool though?
I don't know what it was. But that's how he looked.
Like
Full
fucking
but
Long
that's
John
how he
Silver
looked.
is
But I would
pool.
always but the ghost never killed the kids if they were at the edge. If they touched it, they had to be in the middle of the pool if you do it. But if they grabbed the edge, they were safe essentially. And so anytime, even when I was a kid, I just remember that episode. I was like, this could be a fucking thing. I don't know about the world at large. So I would, if I was in the middle, I would book to edges constantly, just fucking in case, because I don't know. I'm not gonna take the risk. Yeah, it was dumb. It was dumb, but that was the scariest one for me.
Was you all said you're afraid of the ocean?
I am afraid of the ocean. That's my biggest fear.
So it may just be like a fear of like the depths and something that's
the abyss.
Because like, did you ever feel that way in a?
I don't mind lakes. I don't mind lakes. I can deal with lakes.
See, I can't swim,
They're
so I'm
finite?
naturally afraid of
I can deal with lakes.
Dude,
I don't even care about Jason and
time.
being
Like,
in a fucking lake.
Is it because the lake feels finite to you?
And to me, I'm just like, I'll
Like-
fucking just
like-
float in
like
a
you know that
body
it
of water
ends-
and drink.
Maybe, yeah.
All things are not
Like,
supposed
there's
to
a
do,
certain
I'm
amount
just
of
like-
water that exists here.
Yeah, and I know I'm not at the bottom of the food chain. I'm at the fucking top when I'm in there. You know,
Down in the lake.
Hopefully.
in the lake, yeah.
Until you go to Placid.
Yeah, you might presume.
You go to La Placid.
Until Champy too.
There's also like sharks and lakes in Florida or whatever. So
Yeah, but
It's also gators, which will eat you.
what, like bull sharks and shit over there.
yeah, well,
I thought those were
they're
pretty
most
tiny.
No, there's freshwater bull sharks.
there's freshwater like actual like pretty much every breeder
Still
shark in
thought
Florida. You what?
I said I still thought bull sharks or are those tiger sharks. Which one's this? The small one?
Tiger's a small one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bull sharks and like.
Well, I ain't swimming in Florida lakes, am I? I'm up here in fucking cold ass Connecticut,
You're not.
and I don't even really like going in them.
Swim in Everglades.
I don't. The thing I don't like about going into our lakes up here is when you get out, there's a smell about lakes. You have that lake smell on you. Yeah.
So it's actually predominantly based on the the ground in the water. If it traps like methane, if it traps methane.
Limestone's a smell too.
Like it's just still, even after you shower off and clean off, it's still like on your fingers.
So you're saying-
I spent most of quarantine fucking kayaking in various spots
we
in
all
the
did.
area.
Yeah, we did for sure.
And I never really noticed a smell, but certain bodies of water had it, and I think it was predominantly because of like the soil.
No, okay.
We're saying you do not want to come with us to a episode of Left Right Cab on the water, in the water. Let's do it.
I don't
No.
want to. I don't want to
Hard
handle
pass.
electronics in the water. I barely even fucking use my phone, mostly for selfies.
I will bring a GoPro, and we'll go and do this on the water. This whole thing, this whole bullshit. We'll talk about water.
I would love to kayak, but I can't swim, so if that kayak flips on me,
Oh, life
You
jacket.
can't swim, really?
no, literally can't.
Did you?
He's-
You never learned, just never.
Never learned.
So Antonio is you might not be able to tell with the camera, but Antonio is just like a slight shade of brown, more brown than we are, and that's why he can't swim.
Wow.
That's
Early bigotry of the night.
Yeah.
Word goes to Jake.
It wasn't Dana this time.
I mean, I lived in the Caribbean.
Well, yeah,
Just like Jake, his tattoos are black. That's why. God,
right.
racist motherfucker.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like swimming a lot. I would, if you came out with us kayaking, you would not ever have to swim.
The world's largest life suit.
Dude, like honestly, the life jackets that we use for it, like,
Or more than
they're
that.
fucking
You could
rated for like 400 pounds.
you would have to try so hard to drown.
I think the thing that's turning me off the most about this is the physical activity part. Like the
No, we're
the
drinking.
actual
the-
kayak.
we-
Yeah, like the actual. I
Tanner-
gotta exercise. Fuck
Tanner-
this.
You have no idea.
We're drinking the entire
And also
time.
fuel like
Which is also
alcohol
probably
is fuel.
dangerous.
So also,
I'm just saying, isn't that how shit happens?
No, but again,
Yeah.
unless you then fall on your face
and, then,
and
and
don't
no one gives a
move,
shit. And no one gives a
no
shit.
one gives a shit. Which may be the case, but
He is a libertarian.
Can't we just
Pull yourself
kayak,
up
can't
around
we
bootstraps,
kayak and
man.
like drop acid instead?
I
We
would
can
not do that.
That sounds
I
like an
have
awful
done that.
idea.
I would not do it again.
I would not do acid on a kayak. No way.
I mean, like we were coming down. That was the
I have
cabin-
never
that
done
was the
that. I have
cabin of
never
horrors.
done acid.
This is okay. Yeah.
Me neither.
I was
Never
after the 16-hour nightmare. We then went kayaking in the morning, and like that was nice. But the nice part about it was when we actually stopped kayaking and just kind of like floated in the water for a bit. That was actually pretty good.
It's so cute. Can I steal this glass? That's so fucking adorable.
Yeah, it's from so you can't steal a glass.
I mean, I'm gonna steal the glass, so whatever.
I feel like it's really
You-
uh,
I'm not asking Travis. I'm just telling you.
You're like, heads up, this is happening.
I've already stole it.
It's going to Ashley. She fucking would love this.
Sure. I mean, I have the second one.
Also,
I'm kidding. I'm
also-
not gonna steal your glass.
you could also just.
So these are actually.
There's a wedding coming up. We could just buy those glasses for
You
Ash.
cannot buy these anymore.
We could find someone to make them.
So these are
The person making would be Ashley.
messy.
they're from Fat Orange Cat.
Oh,
So
they are.
you can't
yeah.
see.
It's the tail.
There's an adorable little. Look at. Mine's full though, so it looks like he's literally swimming in the water. Look, Jake.
So it
Just
is
put it on
not.
camera. Right.
That's the mic.
Yes.
He's a little kitty. He's all in the water.
Shout out to a brewery in East Hampton.
It's a pretty well. If you're from Connecticut,
Yeah,
Fat Orange Cat
is very well known.
very legendary.
What under normal circumstances,
It could be considered the most Sikh beer in Connecticut. I think Fat
I
Orange Cat.
don't think that at all.
But who
I think you're fucking
Hands
right.
down, no.
what do you think the Sikh beer in Connecticut is?
I don't. Truth be told, I don't think we have one.
That's Fat Orange Cat. It was at one point at least.
Why? They're like Calico Jack, the fucking jalapeno IPA. It's like 1 million of them now.
No. It was
The rest they make are IPAs.
It wasn't. It wasn't Calico Jack. It was the other one. I can't remember the name of it.
All cats are grey in the dark.
That's the one.
Okay. It's actually I think like a white porter, or it's like a. I don't know.
But anyways,
it's good. I don't think it's a search beer, but I also have a very weird stance on beer in Connecticut.
I'm pretty also counter Sikh beer in general.
Yeah.
Although I do I do think Hey Topper is good beer now. It's only because now you can get it.
Yeah.
Sikh beers are kind of
Sick beer. Like
Sikh
Yeah.
beer.
People go to Treehouse Brewing.
Yeah.
And they will wait for fucking hours.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
to get
fucking
served.
and it's like
It's
okay.
not- yeah. I don't.
I like
It's
their
not bad.
stouts though.
What?
I like their stouts.
Sure.
Yeah. So like
But is it-
doppelganger. I think
But is it better than a stout you can get
It's the
in?
blue one? I think.
That's a purple label.
Okay.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You could drive 20 miles
There's a
and get a
there's
beer.
a thing on Facebook.
immediately
59
without
pictures
going to line,
of the Bernie
right?
Sanders
It's
win.
like
Are they
as
all
good, if
fire?
not better.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's basically the problem with Sikh beers. Is that the Sikh beers are all about name. They don't actually matter. They don't actually
Solid.
speak
I
to
actually
the
saw a good one
quality
that
of the
they
beer.
put
You know?
him
Yeah.
on the launch on a beam.
Mm-hmm.
So like the classic
Sikh beer.
photo of
Sikh
the.
beer.
I thought you guys were
Racing
talking about the
Sikh S-I-K-H.
There's
beer now. That's fucking great. Maybe they do.
They're very liberal.
Yeah.
Sikhs?
The Sikhs. That's a good one.
So, I mean, I don't think that they would, but there's an Indian restaurant in Norwich owned by Sikhs, and they were always closed Monday, but they would just put out food on the table and just give it away to people.
That's fucking cool.
And they're just like, oh, you're walking around, would you like some food?
That's great.
And it was part of their Jesus.
Well, I'm just showing on Bernie Sanders, and you guys, I'm so sorry. I'm not.
It was
gonna
like a
stop.
civic sort of piece.
That's
that
really
they were
cool,
like,
actually.
we want to just give back and here you go.
That's
It's
So
like-
anyways, is there any more questions at all?
Yeah.
Questions? Do you have any questions about us? Our favorite things growing up? Things that what do we prefer?
Oh, I didn't even give you a list. Wow, it's been 20 minutes since we started that
Yeah,
conversation.
we got sidetracked on Invaders.
My 3 animated series would be Futurama. I think is I can't ignore it.
Yeah.
I've watched that series too many times to say it's not on the list. Probably number 1 to 2. The other ones are hard for me. It's hard to say. I really love the Adult Swim catalog, but it's kind of in a different genre almost for me. I love Sea Lab 2021.
Sea Lab's good.
Oh no, I know mine. I know
Aqua
mine.
Teen.
It's Futurama,
Ooh,
South
Aqua
Park,
Teen.
and Archer. Those are my
Archer?
three. Archer's in my top.
Archer's not
I
one. Archer's not
fucking
one.
love Archer.
Archer is somewhere in my top 10.
Archer's for plebs.
Love Archer. Hey!
Yeah, H. John Benjamin's great.
I love him. I love the whole. I love Bob's Burgers is great too. I love him in general. I love Archer too. Archer's a great show, but it's for plebs though.
No way.
I think South Park is better than Archer. I think,
Agreed. But I love Archer.
but I don't think South Park's in my top 3 either. Futurama definitely is. I think maybe King of the Hill is. It's a good pick.
It's funny that none of us just said Simpsons in terms of just
No.
respecting the
Yeah,
Futurama
the
over
same way,
Simpsons.
truth be told, I view The Simpsons in the same light that I do fucking Family Guy.
Yeah, it's the holistic part of it.
Yeah, I understand it's.
I also
role in
like American
society.
Dad over both of those.
Sure.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah,
I agree.
I'm
Yeah.
actually
Superior
probably
to-
I agree with you.
probably agreeing on that actually.
I love American Dad.
Yeah.
Futurama, but
Steve and Roger are just.
But also Futurama,
Yes,
Futurama
so-
over that.
And in the same token,
Yeah.
Klaus. Klaus is a fucking
Klaus.
ridiculous character.
Have you guys ever seen the?
Fun trivia question: what kids TV show was the guy who played voice or the guy who played voice, the guy who voices Klaus, Han. If this was a trivia question at trivia, I'm sorry, and I'm giving it away. But
what was the show?
It's probably like fucking
Nickelodeon. How about this Nickelodeon show?
Was it Nick Jr.?
Nick Jr. That'd be great.
I'll give you really the fact that Jake isn't answering this specifically is stunning.
Klaus
from Future, from America. I've had drinks
From American.
The fish,
the German fish.
the German fish.
Well, it's a German accent. Like
It is German.
I don't think it was German.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Voiced another character on Nickelodeon show.
And
And I'm specifically saying that the fact that Jake is not answering this is very funny too.
I got nothing.
because I like it.
I would hope so.
Is it Hey Arnold?
Well, that was Travis's answer.
Actually, yeah.
Jake.
You. Directly you.
Me specifically. Nickelodeon shows.
And it was an animated show.
No.
So he was live action character.
Yeah.
Was it Steve from...
So I immediately was
Blue's
thinking
Clues?
Steve from Blue's Clues. Or Joe, whichever one isn't the pedophile.
Why would I say Jake over anyone else in this room?
Science or brewing?
What?
Science or brewing?
What does that mean?
So no.
So yeah, don't worry about it.
Jake has a specific tie to a Nickelodeon show that we do not
Oh, it is? Really? Legend of the Hidden Temple?
have. He voiced Olmec.
I did?
Fuck
Holy
out,
fuck.
seriously?
What?
Kurt Fogg and that
So I was
motherfucker?
on that show. That's why he said that.
You were on that
I
show?
was on Legend of the Hidden Temple, yeah.
What?
Today we learned about Jake.
That's great.
I was a silver snake.
Silver Snakes!
Awesome.
I think I actually still have
He,
a red
the voice of
Jaguar
Olmec
shirt somewhere.
is the voice of Klaus.
No way.
So it's literally, by the way, when you see, because you see this behind off the set, the sets of that. Is it just like a guy with a microphone talking? They just move the mouth. I mean, it has to be. It has to be.
Yes, most of that stuff that doesn't even happen, like, it's like off camera. Like, it's like, so like a lot of that stuff happens like separately. Like they do
And
try.
they do it in editing. We'll fix it in editing.
They do try to produce it up for like the kids who are there. Like it's kind of still like a theme park kind of thing, but it's like doesn't have the same magic for sure. Yeah, like you can clearly see through it if you're just paying attention.
Yeah. So, but that's a fun trivia.
But there's so what you don't see is there's so like between things there's so much downtime. That's what you don't see.
Yeah, because don't they have to like set up all the fucking
Fuck
forces and
Olmec,
shit?
who gives a shit? Like you see through that shit immediately because like you're waiting between things so much.
You
Like,
also
it's
know
like-
that someone isn't a giant stone head.
Sure, but even
my illusion, my perception
yeah.
of the world.
even if you believe that, like there's like they do that part and then like there's like you wait for
If
like,
it makes you feel
20
that,
minutes.
we also want to
and then you
clarify
go-
that Jake was not molested by a temple guard.
I was not.
He did not.
I was
you
not.
didn't even make it.
He didn't make it to the final shrine.
I did not know.
Shrine of the Silver Monkey.
No, the silver monkey.
Which fucking it is three
But it wasn't-
goddamn pieces.
In my
Why
defense,
does everyone
In my
want
defense-
fucking stuff?
in my
At first,
defense,
no, this doesn't work.
in my defense, to defend myself,
Is that how a monkey looks?
it was I had no point in which I failed on the show. That's all I can say, and that's my biggest defense of my life.
What else was there? I remember there's a ball pit.
There's a ball.
Yeah, it's got like foam cubes. and
Hi,
stuff.
Taco
Hey.
Bell delivery woman.
How you doing?
Yeah, there's like a foam.
You're the best
thing.
DoorDash ever.
Malyn's here. She brought some food. Here's your fucking quesadilla, you needy bitch. There's probably way too many tacos here.
The limit does not exist.
There's 20 tacos here.
20 times.
Is that a bag of fucking Moxie?
You want something?
I'm gonna need you to calm down right now as we eat food on our podcast. We can cut it and eat. We can eat food and continue talking about Nickelodeon shows, or we can cut it here.
We should probably end soon. Yeah.
We should probably.
We're like pretty far in.
kind of wrap.
Well, so Taco Bell is here. We love you.
In the spirit of Taco Bell,
Yes.
and do not feel obligated to answer with Taco Bell.
Yeah, well,
And don't be afraid to sponsor us, Taco Bell.
Please give us
There's
money,
a lot
Taco
of
Bell, or Pepsi, whoever the fuck
You can
owns
have
it.
10 softies if you want.
What? You have one fast food choice.
Taco Bell.
No.
Well, it's even hard for me. Malin, you have one fast food choice. What do you choose?
Oh no!
I would pick Taco Bell for real.
I'm gonna solidify my position as being on the right of this show,
Chick-fil-A.
and I'm gonna say Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Yo, Chick-fil-A is so good.
Over Taco Bell.
I don't give a fuck. I would suck a dick for Chick-fil-A. I don't know why more gay.
You wouldn't even need to for Taco Bell.
Valid.
If gay guys just fucking tried it and got off their high horse about this boycott,
can
they
you
would
bring
suck
Chick-fil-A
dick for Chick-fil-A. It's so good. It's so fucking good. But
So a friend of mine,
because
who-
Tanner just said he would suck dick for Chick-fil-A, so bring Chick-fil-A next week.
But Chick-fil-A isn't in abundance. Hold on, first of all, let's make it clear for our audience who are probably all local anyway. Chick-fil-A is not in abundance here in Connecticut.
No, it's not.
If we're talking about the big heavy hitters,
It's all in the casino pretty much.
It would be Wendy's is my go-to.
I love Wendy's.
Wendy's is my go-to, but I really do I pass a Chick-fil-A, I have to convince myself to not stop because I like Chick-fil-A.
So Wendy's, I like the burger style. McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's style. Wendy's
Yeah,
is
those
like the
it's Wendy's
top,
is the top.
definitely for sure.
I like In-N-Out burgers, but they're out west, so
I
whatever.
just love Taco Bell. I can't explain why.
I'm sorry.
Jack in the Box.
Take it back.
Jack in the Box.
I have been fucking obsessed with Muyas lately.
Muyas.
They have an onion burger. It's just fried.
Is Muyas fast food though?
Yes.
It's running.
Yeah,
It's
it takes like no fucking
But
time.
you're walking closer and closer to not being.
It's better than Five Guys. Infinitely.
We can
I don't agree with that.
to diversify the options here. We will include short order, so your Chipotle's, your Subway, like all those options for it.
That's not. I don't care about. I think that's a lie.
No, I think at any point in time,
I think it has to have a drive-through.
Smashburger, certain ones have.
Subway has a drive-thru.
Jersey Mike's occasionally.
Okay,
does.
one
Subway.
Subway like in the entire state has a
I discovered that like 2 years ago. I was like, holy shit!
Of the 3 big chicken places,
KFC, Popeyes, Chick-fil-A.
although Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, KFC.
Yeah, I think that's kind of universally like.
Chick-fil-A, Popeyes, KFC, except KFC coleslaw at the fucking top.
I will put fucking KFC's potato wedges as the
They're
best.
gone.
They're gone.
Seriously?
They don't have them anymore.
Malin.
They're gone. No,
What?
they're gone. They're
Malin.
I agree.
KFC wedges.
They're
gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
They're
They're
fries.
gone.
They're fries now.
They're gone.
They're
Fucking done. Write them off.
Yeah.
They got rid of the Twister wrap, which was the greatest chicken.
They also
sandwich thing.
they also had shredded barbecue chicken
So
sandwiches.
KFC,
They
don't
got rid
fucking
of those.
sponsor us.
Yeah, fuck you, KFC. Or KFC, you're dead to us.
Should we write this up?
Screw the
Yeah.
Did they make a console that like had KFC warmers?
Yes, it was a joke, but they did actually say like you can buy this if you want.
Yeah, we ordered KFC not too long ago. They're gone. I'm sorry.
That is legit. When I was so my bank in town is near them, and I was just going to the ATM, and I was like, man, I could go through like some Twister wraps and a fucking like
Wedges.
and some wedges. Like, this would be good. And I was like, well, no, they don't do the Twister anymore. I guess I'll just get one of those like little sandwich snacker things. And then I didn't, and now I can, and now I'm disappointed.
Sausage upstairs somewhere.
Yep.
Oh.
All right.
So, but yeah.
Those are our favorite fast food choices and
Fast food place.
Nickelodeon cartoons when we grew up. Hope you enjoyed hearing about our opinions.
Goodbye, the one person who's still listening.
Join us next week.
Next week.
We'll talk about something probably.
I will buy better wine.
Oh fuck! I hope so.
Yeah.
You have to try not to. So.
Buy $8 wine.
I'm Tanner Hall.
I'm Jake Redder.
I'm Travis Pajoli.
Thank you.
This is Antonio. That's Madeline. Goodbye.
They have last names too.
Yeah, we're not saying them though. So good night.